dark. I'll just leave it like that. I need to get a little shade for my lamp. The light is a bit too strong in my opinion. So how are we gonna do that? Am I starting or do you want to start? I just also need to address... Okay, but yeah, I'll just address my viewers in German and then we'll talk in English as we used to. Alright. Yes, I am. Alright. And let's go. Alright. We are
Welcome everyone.
live.
We are live. We are live with the W12 Sprint Series again. Week 4 this is. What an exciting week it has been last week. This time out we have, I think, Watkins Glen we have in the GTEs. First race that is. And I have Kevin with me. Kevin, welcome.
Oh yeah, welcome back to the W12 Sprint Series. I'm very happy to be back with you guys again. I hope you are happy as well. We have got some exciting racing ahead of us.
Definitely.
And to the German viewers, an die deutschen Zuschauer, der deutsche Stream natürlich wie immer auf dem W12-Kanal. Wir werden alles in Deutsch kommentieren, aber wie gewohnt werden ich und Dan jetzt davor noch ein bisschen miteinander auf Englisch sprechen. Also kein Stress, die Rennen werden wie immer auf Deutsch kommentiert, hier auf dem W12-Kanal. Alright, let's talk about it.
Yes, last week out, what an amazing race we had. Amazing 2 races actually we had. I think the first race was at with the V8s at, I don't know which track it was again, but it was an exciting one out there. I mean, we saw some late lunges, we saw some crashes. Just amazing. What did you make of it?
Yeah, the V8s are always a big spectacle, I'd say. Always a lot of fun to watch. Very challenging for our drivers. They were at Summit Point.
Yeah.
A combination that we have seen in the W12 before, not in this season, of course, but in one of the older seasons. And back then it didn't disappoint, and it didn't disappoint this time around as well.
Definitely.
Again, V8s are just a very special car to drive.
Yeah, exactly.
You
With
need
the
a very
V8 being a
special
special car to
skill set.
drive, and then at that circuit, it made for good. It is just made for good racing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's. It is just. It just really. It's so bare bones. You really focus on good precision driving with your right foot. You need to be very calculated.
Yeah.
You can't overdo it on the throttle or anything. So you really need to watch out for that. And that what makes what makes the V8.
Also, I mean, not only with your right foot, but your left foot on the braking. It's
Of course.
if you brake too hard, the car just turns itself around, and I think that makes it a very difficult car to drive on the edge. Let's say it like that.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of not a lot of mistakes, but a couple of mistakes on the brakes as well last time around. So we have seen how difficult in every shape and form the V8 supercars are. But it's always great fun to watch. I hope the drivers are having as much, if they are having as much fun as we have watching them, then it should be a good time for everybody.
Definitely. And I mean, this week, the first server, we have GTEs at Watkins Glen. We talked a bit before this broadcast, and you said to me that you didn't like the GTEs because, basically you weren't good enough to drive in them. So.
Oh well, what? That's.
Tell me.
That's a backstab if I have seen one.
Tell me.
I'm feeling like Julius Caesar right now. Stabbed in the back like that.
Tell me, because I haven't driven a GTE yet. I just bought them for this broadcast. Just like Watkins Glen, I haven't driven at the circuit yet. So tell me, what can we expect from the drivers at this circuit?
I mean, Watkins Glen is a great track. Watkins Glen is a great track. We are driving in the boot version, which I'd have to say is all of the versions are pretty good at Watkins Glen. It's a fast track. The thing, not too many slow corners. So if people want to overtake, there are opportunities to overtake. But they really have to commit to it, and both of the drivers, the one overtaking and the guy that's being overtaken, they really have to play together on this track. Especially the GTs. I mean, I don't like them. I don't like them to drive myself, but they are very fast cars. They are, of course, have a bit more downforce than the GT3s. No ABS, so the point. We've said with the V8 supercars about braking and watching how hard you brake is something that is also very important in the GTE cars.
Yeah.
But they are very fast. Not a lot of downforce, of course. There are no prototypes or anything, but they do have a good bit of downforce. Something like, to make it a bit more understandable, something like. They have the difference like between GT3 and GTE is like if you say at Spa, Blanchiment is flat or pretty much flat in the GTE, where in the GT3 it's very on the edge. I mean, I think the best drivers can take it flat in their qualifying lap in the GT3 as well, but like the average iRacer probably can't do it regularly. Yeah. So that's like the difference in downforce. It's not too much, but you know, it does make one or two corners a bit easier or a bit more challenging, however you want.
Definitely. Yeah, well, that's what we can expect from the drivers this first server. Yes. Let's talk about the championship really quick, because, I mean, it is, like we can see on screen, it is very, very close with Martin Stadtmann having already dropped a result, so that's why Mirko is in the lead with that quite big of a margin. He has had, I think, up until this week, his worst week was like 43 or 42 points. So that makes for, I think, a lead of 18 points, really, when he drops that drop week. Of course, he can wait until he has a result that's a bit worse than that. But I mean,
of course,
we know Mirko is a driver that can perform every race and at every track and every car and track combination. So I mean, it is still all to play for, but he has that lead.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, please, everybody who's watching it, don't be fooled by those standings. They are not final. We still have 1 week that is getting dropped. Mirko, of course, being here all the time means that he, of course, we haven't put the drop weeks in yet. So everything will still change a bit. So the fight is very much closer than it appears right now in the standings. So don't get fooled by that. There is still everything to play for here. And we are not far away. We don't have many weeks left.
3 weeks, including this one.
Including this one, so after this only 2 weeks left. So we are getting into the final stretch, and the standings will change up a bit.
Definitely. So if you see Mirko with a bad result here, I think he will drop this week. I think that's a tactic that he's he's going to play out. If this week isn't good for him, I think he's going to drop this one. But Kev,
Yeah,
we're going to have to cut it off here. The qualifying is going to begin in 10 seconds. So
Oh yes.
I wish
so we're gonna
you,
switch over.
Yeah, I wish you and the German viewers all the best. I hope it will be an exciting race. I know it will be, but
It will
yeah,
be. I'm not
We
worried
are,
about that. Yeah.
I'm looking forward
we
to
will
it.
I'm looking forward to it as well. So we will be hearing us after the draw. We will be talking again.
Definitely.
So
Qualifying is
until
about to
then,
begin, and yeah,
good fun.
have fun.
Yeah, have fun.
Well, out on track, it is definitely very, very close. Qualifying is beginning, and I think with... Yes, we can finally watch this. Very, very close this is. Evan Ditzold is currently the one first out of the pits. A man who we will be looking at is, of course, Mirko Bortolotti. He is still in the pits though. He has 5 minutes to complete one lap. You only have one shot in the first qualifying lap. So it is going to be very, very close between all of them. Now, for myself, I haven't driven these GTE cars as of yet, but I think that these GTE cars are a heck of a handful to drive, especially at this circuit, a circuit with a lot of undulation in it. So it's almost like a roller coaster, Watkins Glen. But I mean, he is warming up those tires very nicely. Gustavo Xavier in the BMW. These cars are a bit wider than the GT3s. Evan Ditzold is about to begin his lap. What will he put on for us? He is the first man to come across the line, I think. And he is the first one to start his lap. It's gonna be very, very close. And I think that he will put in a perfect he is currently still in Sector 1. I'll keep you up to date what he does in Sector 1. Of course, it's going to be purple time. It's not going to be a purple time. The man who set the purple lap time is Tobias Kurz with a 26.36 in Sector 1. But Evan Ditzold had the exact same first sector time. But it's Thomas Piva who has improved that by just that little bit. Evan Ditzold is very close with Tobias Kurz. He has the fastest second sector time, 14.48. It's going to be close coming into the fourth sector. This track, of course, has 5 sectors. But that's a purple sector time for Evan Ditzold in Sector 3. Oh, they are exactly the same in Sector 3 as well. Thomas Piva and Evan Ditzold are exactly the same in Sector 1 and 3. Sector 4 is a little bit slower from Thomas. But let's see what Evan Ditzold can put in as a benchmark. Only one shot you get in qualifying, and his lap time is going to be... Oh, a 1:38.57. Jens Fiedler also coming across the line. And he is not going to take pole position by quite some margin. Mirko Bortolotti. He is still not on a lap. Oh yes, he is, I think. I think he is on a lap. And I think that's an off track there, wasn't it? Oh, Thomas Piva has an off track in his second sector, which is going to deny him from a very, very good position. But it's currently on pole position. It's Jonas Vana with the exact same lap time as Markus Steffel, but he did it earlier than Marcus. So that's why he is on pole position at the moment. Currently, Mirko with a 5th time, 1:38.85. I think that settles qualifying very nicely. And I think that is all for qualifying. Oh, no, that isn't all for qualifying. Jens Fiedler, no. Benedikt Hochleitner, also done with his lap. Or is he? Oh, yes, he is definitely now. He is definitely done with his lap time now. I think that is qualifying for us. Yes, that is qualifying wrapped up. Let's look at the grid for the first heat. We have Jonas Vana on pole position. Next to him in second place is Matthias Baldauf. Third is Mirko Bortolotti after a qualifying in 5th, which isn't the best we've seen Mirko do all season. But he can have that result since he hasn't dropped a week yet. Marco Zilla in 4th, Jens Fiedler is in 5th, 6th is Clement Schmidt, 7th Gustavo Xavier, and 8th is Lucas Cambert. 9th is Stefano Pellegrino, and 10th and our last man on the grid is Thomas Pieber. I mean, what can we ask more from the drivers? We are gonna have I think a full lap around the circuit. So nothing to worry about for the drivers to get their tires up the champ. We have a full lap to do that. Of course, last time out we had an amazing result from Mirko in the first race out in the second server. Can he repeat that with of course heat 1 here? We know Mirko is fast in the race conditions, as we have now the warm-up lap beginning. Yes, here we go. As the pace car pulls away, drivers get off from their grid spot. A rolling start, of course, in the GTEs, which is gonna make things very, very interesting. Give it a bit of hype in the chat. As the cars are rolling now for the formation lap. Let's look at the race info really quick. We have the track, of course, 5.4 kilometers long, 34 degrees. The track temperature is right now. Altitude is 136 meters. The temperature in the air is 21 degrees currently, and it's partly cloudy. 3 kilometers an hour is the wind. Of course, we are located in Watkins Glen in USA, and I think this is going to give us a very, very interesting race, as we have everyone now rolling into their grid spot. Quite a long formation lap, this one. But that gives us the time to look at what is ahead. I mean, Watkins Glen, it's what a circuit it is. It has been a circuit where the barriers are very close, so you can't really make a mistake. And it's a circuit that is very high speed with these GTEs, of course. And what can we expect from the man in the black and yellow, Mirko Bortolotti? Of course, we have him on the second row, starting from 3rd position. He has the BMW or the Porsche of Marco Zilla right next to him. Behind that is a row of 4 BMWs, and then the the last two grid positions are taken in by the Ferraris. So Mirko able to split at least the last two of the Porsches. So we are still in the third sector. Of course, we have Matthias Baldauf from the silver class now at the moment on pole position for the silver class, but the drivers are really looking at the bigger picture. Of course, he wants to win the overall championship, Matthias Baldauf, but he's quite far off that, if I have to say. But we are into the fourth and second to last sector now on this warm-up lap. It has been quite a long warm-up lap, I have to say. We've talked about everything, I think, as we now round off the fourth sector, go into the last sector. And that means that we are that it's almost time to go green for the fourth week and the fourth evening of racing in the W12 Sprint Series. As we are now coming on to the last corner, Jonas Vanna is going to be able to dictate the pace here. As the pace car pulls in, and we wait until he gives the green, and that is now. We are green with a very good start for Mirko Bortolotti in third place. He's going to go up to first place in the first corner already. Down his inside is Jonas Vanna still, but Mirko Bortolotti has already gained the place. Up into second he goes. He's now going to attack Jonas into first position. He's going to try and go around the outside. Very close to the back of him. He's now alongside. Is he going to try and pull this off into the next corner? We have a long straight ahead. He has the better run, a little touch there on the straight. But that BMW from Mirko really has the edge in the straight line. Jens Fiedler behind that, also able to overtake. Jonas not quite. He has to slot in, otherwise he's going to get shoved out wide by Matthias Baldauf in the Porsche. But Mirko Bortolotti with a very good start there. And he is up into first position. Meanwhile, a little bit further back, we have Matthias Baldauf now overtaking Jens Fiedler overtaking Matthias Baldauf, and they touch there. That is not what you want to see in another collision there. Jonas Vanna, again, let's take a look at what happened there. We can see here they are side by side, and then I think he outbrakes himself. Yes, or he gets sides. Just gets the nose cut off by Jens Fiedler. But that is sad to see. Not what you want to see, definitely. So we have Jonas Vanna now in second position, chasing down the man ahead of him, Mirko Bortolotti, with 4 purple sectors at the moment. Meanwhile, further back is Thomas Piebe, also with a very good start. 6 positions gained from the Austrian. And he is looking to overtake Gustavo Xavier for a podium here in Heat 1, of course. Lap 1 done already. As he now goes around the outside for the next corner. Is he going to be able to make it stick around the outside of Gustavo? Gustavo's going to shove him out wide, and instead of gaining a position, he loses one to Lucas, who, of course, profits from that. But now he's going to try and get the inside again. Next corner is to the right, so he will have the outside for that, and that is going to give Lucas the position again. And now behind him in the Porsche is Marco Zilla, of course, trying to take that position away from Thomas, but he had an amazing start. A man who had an amazing start as well. He's now going to try and go around the outside. That is not going to work. Lucas is going to shove him out wide, and he is not happy with that, as we can see a flash from the headlights. Going to try it down the inside here. Is he now going to push him wide? No, he isn't. Lucas holds on to that position for now, and that is giving Gustavo the opportunity to run away with it in third place. Oh, he goes off track there. Of course, the limits are quite far on the runoff with off tracks at this circuit. He's now going to defend the inside, Lucas, and gonna make Thomas go the long way around. That's not gonna work for Thomas, but he has the better exit now. He's gonna try and do something up the hill here into the right and then left. He's gonna have to go around the outside. We saw Mirko do this, but he is not able to pull this off now on the straight. Of course, he has the run. He's in the toe. He's gonna tuck out to the left-hand side, right-hand side for the driver. That will give him the inside for the next corner, because that's one to the right. Is he gonna be able to make this one stick now? Not quite. That BMW from Lucas having the edge in the straight line, as we saw on the opening lap for the lead as well. Mirko now under attack from Jonas in first place. This is the battle for first position in the race, as we have after this one only one lap to go. So he's gonna try and hang on for dear life, Mirko. But this has been an action-packed first heat, as meanwhile further behind that we have Lucas and Riva and Marco Silla also very close to each other. A three-way battle that is for fourth position. Of course, the top three in this class, as they both go off track, extending track limits, but this is now going to be the last lap as they come on to the start-finish line in 2 corners time. One to the left and one to the right, and then we go on to the start-finish straight to start the last lap. GasX Racing will be very happy if Mirko will get pole position for the first race. But Jonas Vana is going to try and do everything he can to deny him from that. He's going to try and do it down the inside. He's not quite close enough this time round, but Watkins Glen provides enough opportunity for the drivers to make a move as we now go up the hill again to the right, left. We saw Mirko do it here on Jonas in the first lap. Is Jonas now going to do the Uno reverse guard to him? It looks like he doesn't have the speed. Mirko defends the inside as they're now side by side going into the next corner. Does Jonas have the edge? They're side by side. Mirko has the inside. So is he going to be able to keep this on the racing track as they're still side by side going into the left-hander? No, they aren't. And Mirko defends the inside. He knows where to put his car, and he's going to block the apex. This is amazing racing from the two drivers here. Jonas absolutely trying his best to get around Mirko, but Mirko knows how to defend here, and he is gonna try and hold on for dear life to P1 here, as we have the next corner, I think to the right. That is, yes, it is to the right, and that makes for a very awkward corner for Mirko, and he goes off. Is that gonna give Jonas the opportunity to go around the outside for the next corner? It doesn't. Mirko again back up into first position. But now on the cutback, the next corner is to the left. 2 corners to go for these boys. And Jonas is on the inside. Next corner is to the right. And I think Mirko has first position now in his pocket. But they are very close. They're going to be side by side coming onto the start-finish straight. Is it going to be Mirko who's going to cross the line first? Yes, it is. Very, very close. Not a 10 between those guys. Behind him is Gustavo Xavier. Marco Ziller in 5th position, or in 4th I have to say. 5th is Thomas with a very, very good comeback drive from 9th on the grid to 5th. That is a very respectable result. 6th Stefano Pellegrino. 7th is Clemon Schmid. 8th across the line is Jens Fittler. 9th across the line is going to be Lucas. And 10th, who is not going to finish, is Matthias Baldauf. Let's look at that, at the result there. As we have now the result, Mirko Bortolotti winning by 89 thousandths of a second. Very close between those guys. Mirko hanging on for dear life in that last lap there. 3rd is Gustavo Xavier with a very, very good result for him again. He will be looking to do one better in the first race, in the consolation race. He won't be taking part in that, I think. He is through to the feature race. 4th is Marco Zilla. 5th is Thomas. He will be very happy with that result. And then Stefano Pellegrino starting 9th on the grid. He will be very happy with that. Picking up 4 positions. Clemens Schmidt 7th. 8th is Jens Fiedler. 9th Lucas Camber. And 10th is Matthias Baldov. As we now look on to the next heat, as the cars are already underway for their formation lap, but we have a lot of time to talk about this as we look now onto the grid for the second heat. This will give the positions second to, I think, 20th, as we have 20 drivers in this race today. First will be Markus Steffel, and joining him on the first row will be Evan Dietzold in second place. Third will be Julian Rambout. Fourth will be Ben Green. We saw him, of course, with a very good result out there last week. Lime Rock Park, Marcus Rima and Tobias Kurtz, both from ASR Red, will form the third row with 5th and 6th. 7th and 8th are Jan Linz and Stefan Capella in the Porsche and Ferrari. At last on the grid, the 2 Corvettes in the name of, or in the hands of Stefan Capella, or in the hands of Markus Deutsch and Benedikt Hochleitner for ASR Red and ASR Blue. That is how the drivers will line up for this second heat. Man, we saw some awesome racing in the first heat. Mirko Bortolotti defending for his life on the last lap. And I think he's done that beautifully. He has held on to that first position with, I think, very skillful driving. We saw that mistake, but I think Jonas Varna just couldn't he just wasn't close enough to make use of that mistake. And yeah, let's hope we see the exact same spectacle in this second heat as well, as the drivers are now almost finishing off the third sector of this formation lap. And I hope that we see the same racing as we had in Heat 1. Of course, Heat 2, the same length in minutes as Heat 1, 6 minutes. Heat 2 will be just like Heat 1. And I think that we are about to witness a spectacle again, like we saw in the last split. 2 Porsches on the front row, and the BMWs pretty much lining up in as the second best constructor. We see the Corvette from Julian Rambout-Jules. Of course, he is an outsider here. He is third in the Corvette, while the other Corvette buddies are in 9th and 10th. And I mean, Stefan Capella is in the Ferrari, the only one in the Ferrari. And Jan Linz is, of course, a little bit, yeah, he's the ugly duck in the pack, being 7th in the Porsche, while his other Porsche buddies are in 1st and 2nd. And yeah, I think that we are now all settled to start this race off, as we're now going to round off again the last corner. And the pace car is going to determine the pace here, as the pace car pulls in to the pit lane, and we are green for the second heat. Markus Steffel leads the field to green, and it's Julian Rambout-Jules with a very good start behind, and again the third place driver, a very good start down the inside of Evan Dietzold. He will be, are they gonna come out of that unscathed? Yes, they are, but he has to slot into third. The BMW of Ben Green now having a very good run, but Marcus Rimar is going to try and get the around the outside. Ben Green now, what is he going to try and do? He is now on the outside of Julian Rambout. He's going to try and do something down the inside, maybe take the Porsche of Evan Dietzold as well, but he's going to back out of that, and it's Julian who will have the inside for the next corner. And I think Ben will not be able to do that around the outside. The next corner is it's very much favored to the inside because you have the camber there. Meanwhile, in the back of the shot, we have Stefan Capella defending. Oh, it's down the inside. We have Jan Lins, and they touched. I think that was a incident caused by Jan there. I have to say that was a bit, he was a bit optimistic there, and that puts them into the barrier and out of contention for this race. Marcus Riemer sadly already in the pitch. Stefan Capella, he does continue, but that is not what you want to see on a first lap in a Heat 1 with 3.5 minutes only to go, or 4.5 minutes to go. It's Marcus Stiffel and Evan Ditzold still holding on to that 1-2 for Porsche. Jan Lins with a very good start. Someone who has made a very, very good start in this race is Benedikt Hochleitner. He has gained 3 positions. And as we see now what everyone has gained, pretty much the whole top 4 has stayed the same. But now look at that BMW gaining on the Corvette on this straight. The Corvette himself in the slipstream of Evan Ditzold. Evan Ditzold is outside of the slipstream, isn't he? No, he isn't. He's inside of the slipstream for Marcus Steffel. That will give him just the edge, but the Corvette is gaining. Next corner is to the right, so he will have to pull it on the inside, which he isn't able to do. But it's at the moment, it is only 1.1 seconds covering the top 4 drivers, and it's 1.7 covering the top 5. This is a very, very close fight, and this is not over until the checkered flag falls here at Watkins Glen. And after we have finished the last lap, this is pretty much not all done. As we have Marcus Steffel now running away with it a little bit. It is settled down now a little bit. The gaps are starting to form. But Ben Green is trying to hold on to the back of that Corvette. Meanwhile, Julian Rambo-Jules has his handful of just keeping that Corvette on the racing track, as Marcus is of course trying to break that slipstream to Evan Ditzold. Evan Ditzold with the fastest lap last time around, 1:38.52. And it's Julius who is trying to gain that extra position. Now it's Evan Ditzold, not under pressure anymore from Julian behind. Are we going to see a fight for the first place again in this race? He's now going to have to do it around the outside. Marcus Steffel defending the inside, but look at the apex speed from Evan here. He's going to try and do it down the inside of the next corner. He is there, but Marcus is just able to break that little bit later. And now he is going to try and stick it around the outside for the next corner if he's close enough. No, he isn't. Marcus goes a little bit deep there, not quite making the apex very well, but that will give him the exit onto the straight here. Evan Ditzold is going to try and make it down the inside. Is he close enough? He's going to tuck out of the slipstream. Are we going to see a Porsche appearing on the left hand side? No, we are not. It's not quite close enough to do it, as we of course have in the background Ben Green looking to find his way past Julian, but also not happening. Very closely matched, these drivers, but it seems like they are so closely matched that they can't find a way past. ASR Red, I think now, or is in first place, isn't he? As we have white flag now, there is only one more lap to go in Heat 2 until we have the result. Oh, he goes very wide, very, very wide there. Evan Ditzold is trying his absolute best to catch on to the back of Marcus Steffel. He's now going to have to straight with the slipstream. I think he's not going to be close enough to do it here. Is he going to be close enough? Is he going to do it around the outside? Oh, as they have a touch, and he goes off. He goes off. No, he doesn't. He keeps it in a straight line, but he is hampered, and that is not what you want to see. And is that gonna give Julian Rambo the opportunity to go around the outside for the next corner? It's absolutely kicking off in this last lap. Is he gonna be able to take that victory in the Corvette? He's now gonna try and do it down the inside for the next corner, or around the outside actually. He is not quite close enough, but we can see Markus Steffel with the damage there on that Porsche. Another touch on the rear end of that Porsche from the Corvette this time. Also struggling is Evan Ditzold in the background. He is trying to fend off Ben Green. He's going to have to do it around the outside, Julian. Is he going to be close enough? No, he isn't, but this will give him the inside for the next corner. He is pretty much there, and he has made up that position. He slots in first, but Markus Steffel is going to have to cut back there, but he's going to have a damaged car and a car that is damaged in a straight line. They're side by side going into the second to last corner, and Julian is going to go out wide there. They're side by side going into the last corner, and is it going to be Markus Steffel who has the edge going across the finish line? Yes, it is. And it's Evan Ditzold in third. What a race we've seen again in the second split. And they are split by 1.5 tenths for first place. Second place is only 2 tenths behind first. And fourth is only 2.5 tenths behind that. We need some time to take a breather there. That is amazing. We've seen amazing racing in Heat 1 and amazing racing in Heat 2. Let's hope we see the exact same in the consolation race. It's currently Stefan Capella still driving. He is on his last lap as well. I'm quickly take something to drink and I'll be right back as he is going to finish off his lap, of course. Wow, wow, wow. What a Heat 1 and Heat 2 we have seen. Let's look at the result now from Heat 2. It is Markus Steffel in first place. Second, Julian, with only 1.5 tenths behind that. Third is Evan Ditzold, 2 tenths behind Markus and only 0.5 tenth behind Julian. Even closer than we saw in Heat 1 for the lead. Ben Green is... he's only 0.03 of a second behind Evan Ditzold, but that gives him fourth. Not even 2.5 tenths back from first place, and that gives him fourth. That is, I mean, in a normal race you would have gotten second for that. I think 2 tenths is not something you normally see in a race like this, but due to it only being 6 minutes, the drivers are absolutely on it every lap and again. So that makes for very exciting racing and very close racing as well. As we have now the cars rolling away on the formation lap. But man, oh man. Jan Lins and Tobias Kurz in 5th and 6th. 7th is Benedikt Hochleitner, 8th Markus Deutsch, and 9th is Stefan Capella. And 10th, sadly not finishing the race, is Markus Rima. Wow. Let's hope we see more of that in the consolation race. As we are now going to look onto the grid for the consolation race. First, due to the heats, we have Marco Zilla. Ben Green is in second. Third is Thomas Pima. Fourth is Tobias Kurz. 5th, Stefano Pellegrino, and 6th is Jan Lindstift. And then 7th we have Clemon Schmidt racing for a new team this race and the next of this season. MDO Racing has picked up Clemon Schmidt, a talent that they have picked up and wanted to race for them. Benedikt Hochleitner is in 8th, 9th is Jens Fiedler, and 10th Markus Deutsch for ASR Red. Lucas Camber is in 11th, and 12th is Stefan Capella. 13th Matthias Baldauf, and 14th Markus Rima. that is round off the grid for this consolation race. I mean, can we expect more from the drivers after those 2 heats? I expect the exact same to happen for this consolation race. Of course, we still have to wait and see. Let's look on to the race info. Of course, track still 34 degrees, 22 degrees. That has gone up by 1 degree Celsius. Humidity is still 51% chance. Partly cloudy and 3 kilometers an hour of wind. Still at the same track, of course, in the USA. Watkins Glen, the 5.4 kilometer circuit. As we now head on to some beautiful onboard shot from, of course, the Porsche. What car are we expecting else? Porsche again on pole position, but due to the fact that a lot of Porsches are already into the next stage of this race, so into the feature race, that makes that we only have 1 Porsche on the front row.
Laat glijdt
So
voorbij.
definitely gonna be looking forward to that. As the drivers are now gonna come across the last corner to finish off this formation lap. And Marco Zilla alongside Ben Green is gonna lead the field to green. Pace car is in now. And it's green, green, green for the consolation race. 5 minutes of racing. And behind that is, I think, Tobias Kurz with a very, very good start around the outside from 4th position. Is going to be able to make that one stick. No, he's going to be pushed out wide. And that has given Marco Zilla a bit of a gap already. Behind that is Thomas Piba and Ben Green fighting for 2nd place. And Tobias Kurz behind. They have already a big gap to top 5. But it's now Ben Green alongside Marco Zilla. Again, the BMW having the edge on the straight here. And that is helping Ben Green attacking Marco Zilla. He's now going to have the inside for the next corner, but he went a bit deep into this one. Is he going to be able to hang it down the inside here? Yes, he is. He gets given the space by Marco, but Marco does hold on to that position around the outside. Behind that is now Thomas Piba looking to do something similar. Oh, as he gets very close to the back of Ben Green there. But it's still the same. He's now gonna try something around the outside as he outbrakes himself. Marco outbrakes himself, and that is gonna give Ben Green the chance now to push him out wide. But Marco is gonna have the inside for the next corner, which is gonna give him the better line and the better traction. They're still side by side, and now it's gonna be Thomas who's gonna be looking to attack Ben. And behind that is also Tobias looking to attack Thomas again. Very close to top 4, even the top 5. Top 5 cars covered within a second. It seems like it is all settled down a bit now, but it's Thomas very close to the back of Ben. And even closer to Thomas is Tobias Kurz. But now, of course, it's Marco Zilla with a very, very class opening lap. But Ben Green very close going up the hill. And remember, we have a long straight leading after this. And he's around the outside already. I think this is a place gained. He has had the run very early on the straight, and I think he's gonna have the overspeed to cut across and take the inside again. I think he's already... No, he's not. That is very close. He's gonna be going deep. No, he isn't. And now he is finally through, and he can now try and create that gap of a second that they are not in the same shot anymore. Marco Zila still hanging on to the back of that BMW from Ben Green. He's going to try and do something around the outside now, and that is going to give Thomas the opportunity to try and throw it up the inside of the Porsche, which is not happening. And now again the Porsche on the left-hand side for Ben Green. It's going to be a right-hand turn. Oh, has Ben Green disconnected? No, he hasn't. Oh, that was... Wow. That was some tidy moments. Thomas very close to the back of Marco Zila. Of course, Marco now hanging on to the back of that BMW from Ben. But Ben just having the straight line speed with that BMW. And Tobias, Jens and Lucas are having the same thing, that overspeed in a straight line. You can see the Porsche not really gaining there in a straight line. As up the hill we go now for, I think, the last lap. It's going to be close. It's going to be very close. But I think this is the last lap now. As it's going to be Thomas now looking to make a move around the outside of Marco. Is that going to happen? No, it isn't. Oh, Marco very close to the back of Ben. He doesn't want to touch him, of course, because then they both go around. And he keeps hold of that second position. Thomas is looking to fend off Tobias here. He's now getting closer as well. The top three have been matching each other like crazy. But now it's Marco. Can he put his car up the inside for the next turn? No, he isn't quite able to. He's going to have the preferred line, but Ben Green is going to cut across and take that preferred line as well. Now 3 corners to go for the boys. He's going to have to go around the outside here, and Ben is going to absolutely park it on the apex, which is going to give Thomas the chance now to do something up the inside of Marco. No, it isn't. Very close still. Is he going to be able to do it around the outside for the next corner? The last corner, they go into side by side as he touches the grass, and that is a 0-point result, I think, for Marco Zila there. Very, very sad to see. Ben Green wins the race ahead of Thomas, and Tobias comes home third. Jens Fiedler fourth. Lucas in fifth. But let's look back at that again. Here we have it. A better run through the second to last corner. He's on the outside. Oh, and I think that's a little bit of netcode there, which makes him go into the wall. Very sad to see. He, of course, can continue there. Oh, but with a very damaged car, and he takes some other drivers on his way there. That is not what you want to see. And if he did touch them, he is going to get punished for that. Not what you want to see happening. Benedict Hochleitner, the only one to still finish. And he has done that. Stefano Pellegrino now has to finish for GasX Racing Team. But I mean, what a race it has been. Again, very, very close for the top 3 there. I mean, I'm gonna see in the result, but they're again split by, I don't think it's half a second. I don't think the top 4 are split by more than a second even maybe even the top 5, but we'll have to look. Stefano now runs off the second to last corner. He's now going to round off the last corner. I'm going to come across the line to finish it off. Yeah, forcing off track. I mean, we are not the one to decide that in the commentary booth, but it did look like he did get forced off track. But that was a, I mean, that was a very big part of, yeah, I think there was a very big role of netcode there. That was a very big role of netcode, but still very sad to see that happen in the last corner of the race when it did all go clean in the heats before that, but hey, it has to happen sometime at some point, you know. But the result now, it's Ben Green just ahead of Thomas, 2.5 tenths splitting those two, and it's another 2.5 tenths back is Tobias Kurz. Fourth is Jens Fiedler, 8.5 tenths back from the leader and 4 tenths back from P3. P5 now is Lucas Cambert. He has a very good result there. Again, 6th is Stefano Capella, 7th is Markus Rima, and 8th Matthias Baldauf. Jan Lins is in 9th for Fach Auto Tech Esports. Markus Deutsch for ASR Red. Benedikt Hochleitner for ASR Blue, and Marco Zilla again for ASR Red. 10th, 11th and 12th respectively. 13th is Stefano Pellegrino and 14th is Clemon Schmidt. That is the result for I think the consolation race, feature race, about to get underway, but not before we have a very long formation lap again. A formation lap where we can talk about what happened in that consolation race. I mean, we can look at it maybe one more time. No, we can't. But I mean, that has been amazing. As we now can look onwards towards the grid for the feature race, and that's going to be the last race of this first server then. Of course, we have the grid for you guys lined up here, and it's Mirko Bortolotti, like we saw in previous weeks. It's Mirko Bortolotti on pole position, a familiar face on pole position, let's say it like that. The only man who has beaten all the Porsche dominance in these races. I mean, it could have been a Porsche 2, 3 and a 6 and 7, but due to the incident in the last race at the last corner, that is not happening, sadly. Now we have for you in first position Mirko Bortolotti, like I just said, for GasX Racing Team. ASR Blue will have their first man, Markus Stiffel, also on the front row alongside Mirko in second. Third will be Jonas Vana, and fourth Julian Rambout Jules in the Corvette, the best Corvette. Then we go on to a BMW row, Gustavo Xavier and Evan Dietzold, fifth and sixth respectively in the BMW. And then we have the first of the Ferraris. In seventh it's... Oh, no, we first have Ben Green in 7th in the BMW, then we have 8th, we have the first Ferrari in the way of Thomas Pieber. 9th we have Tobias Kurz in the BMW, and 10th we have Stefano Capella, also in a BMW, Markus Rima and Matthias Baldauf. 13th and 14th for ASR Blue and T3 Esports. 15th and 16th are Jan Lins and Markus Deutsch. 17th and 18th, a name that I like to pronounce, Benedikt Hochleitner. I mean, who doesn't love that name? Then 18th is Marco Zilla for ASR Red. And then the last row of this grid, Stefano Pellegrino in 19th for GasX Racing, for GasX Academy, and 20th is Clemon Schmidt, changing teams for this race, and it has not been the most successful of evenings for him as of yet, starting last in the feature race, going to MDO Racing. So that is our grid for the feature race, as the drivers now round off the second to last corner again. And it's Mirko Bortolotti who's going to lead the field to green, with two Porsches lurking in the background to take that first position away from him. He's going to have to be smart, of course, with that. As it's now Mirko Bortolotti controlling the pace, I think. this is a beautiful camera angle. As it's now the green flag has been shown. And it's green, green, green. Mirko Bortolotti has put down the accelerator, and he has a very good start. No one is going to be able to keep up with that, but it's the Corvette of Julian Rambaud-Jules with a very good start behind that, but he gets back down in the braking zone, and that loses him a couple of positions. He goes off track, and he goes around, and that is the best Corvette done. Meanwhile, in the background, we have Ben Green as the best BMW. A little bit behind that is Tobias Kurz under attack from Thomas Piba in the Ferrari. And behind that, we have a Porsche of Matthias Baldauf. He's now going to try and go around the outside for the next corner. Ben Green, is he going to make that place stick? No, he isn't. Oh, as we have a spinner there in the background as well. We can look onto that in a moment. Here we're going to see the crash that happened in the first corner. Here we're going to see it. Oh, he just gets collected. Oh, he gets collected there by a Gazax racing driver. That is very sad to see. Another crash happening in the first lap was Markus Deutsch. He crashed after the straight. I think he got turned around by the Porsche. That is... yeah, I mean, that is what you get on the first lap. But yeah, we go back to Mirko Bortolotti on the live picture. He is still in the lead, leading by half a second from Jonas Vanna and Markus Steffel. Still second and third. So look now on the nose cam with Mirko Bortolotti as we go through the right and left. Up the hill we go here. The car gets very loose here, of course, because this is uphill and it stops here, the long straight. And it's Jonas behind him. Does he have the run? It doesn't seem like he's not gaining enough. He's not getting quite enough. Oh, and look at that. We can hear it. It's Mirko Bortolotti already saving the time. Already saving the time and saving the fuel with pulling in that clutch after the long straight. He is going to try and do the same he did last time out, and that is going to go long on the fuel mileage. Behind him now it's Jonas Vanna closing up ever so slightly. But behind Jonas it is Markus Steffel looking to do him one better. They all haven't pitted yet, so this is a race where a pit stop can be useful. It can be used as now. Markus Steffel gets very close to the back of Mirko Bortolotti, using everything of the runoff there. Mirko Bortolotti and Markus Steffel, they gain a lot there on Jonas, but Jonas gains it back here on the straight again. Porsche looks a little bit bent, but he's now going to be around the outside of Markus Steffel. Is he going to be able to make this one stick? He's not gaining enough because of the damage, like we could see there. And I think that is almost crazy. Jan Lins very close behind Clement Schmidt. Is he going to be able to make that move stick? No, he isn't. It's so close going into this left hand. They're almost touching the back of Clement. But Clement Schmidt has had a very, very good start, starting 20th on the grid, already up to 11th. And he has gained 9 places. Now he is on the back of Stefan Capella. As he's now going to be looking to make this one stick around the outside. Is he going to be able to do it? No, he's going to try and cut back. But Stefan Capella is going to park it on the apex, which is going to be annoying for Clement, because that doesn't give him the opportunity to cut back, as we now have 3 corners to go until we go across the line to finish off another lap of this circuit. So we now have a lead change. That is amazing. We are going to take a look at that pause. Here we go into the... Oh, he caught him off guard there. Mirko Bortolotti not looking in his mirrors there. And that is how he overtook him. In the lead now, Markus Steffel. This is the lead he has, as you can see. But Mirko Bortolotti caught off guard there. But Mirko is definitely saving fuel. Maybe that is why Mirko did get passed on the brakes there. And now Markus Steffel is running away with it. Behind Mirko is Jonas. Is he gonna be able to attack Mirko as well? So now a little bit further back in the field. Have Marco Silla on the back of Lucas Cambia, of course. Those two are very, very close together. He's gonna look and try and do something with the inside. No, he isn't. He can't quite make that work. Marco still keeps close. Now onto the straight he goes. Is he gonna pull up the inside? He is into the first corner. He's gonna be able to make that one stick. No, he isn't. Gonna have to wait till we get to the long straight. Climbing up through the gears of his Porsche 911 GTE. .270 to 71. Saving fuel. Pretty much on the same strategy as Mirko Bortolotti. So you have now Ben Green very close behind, or Matthias Baldauf trying it around the outside of Ben Green even. That move wasn't able to stick, but the Porsches are going really, really, really well around the circuit of Watkins Glen. You can see here this Baldauf last laps quite comfortably quicker than Tobias Kurz behind him. As we see them now all come into the pits. This is of course the strategies from everyone else. Who's going to be the first one out of the pits? We're going to look at Mirko Bortolotti. Very close. Very close. It's going to be neck and neck coming out of the pits between those guys. Oh, and he just gets out behind. So no saving fuel from Mirko now. He's going to have a try and do his absolute best to hang on to the back of Markus Steffel. He has around half a second of a gap with his Baldauf after that pit stop cycle. 2/10 behind Ben Green. He's going to look, try and get him up the inside maybe. The Porsche just lacking that straight line speed a little bit compared to the BMW. So not quite able to overtake, but it's only Porsches and or BMWs in the top 11. So that's quite worrying with the BOP I think that's something to look at for next races by Race Control. But Marco Steffel now really under attack from Mirko Bortolotti. Mirko is giving it absolutely everything here. As we get very close to the back of Marco Steffel. Very close, but he has made that little bit of a mistake there, which gave him the edge. Just behind that is Matthias Baldauf attacking Ben Green. Very close between those two guys. 8 minutes left in the feature race. And I mean, what a race we have seen up until this point. And I think we're going to be able to see much more like that in Server 2. I hope we can, at least. Because, I mean, it has been absolutely amazing racing until the checkered flag of both the heats and the consolation race. We even saw in the consolation race a last lap, last corner drama kicking off with the P2 car being hit off by P1, which is not something you want to see, as again the man in the Corvette, Julian Rambaud-Jules, has crashed again. Let's look what happened here exactly. Is it a spinner out of the first corner? Oh, and that is not what you want to see. Maybe a steering wheel issue, that is. But something you definitely want to see. Mirko Bortolotti isn't able to pressurize Marco Steffel by that much. The gap is increasing over the course of this lap. But let's look at the pit strategies as we can see that now. So, second lap completed on this strategy, of course, from all of the drivers. It's very, very close further down the field between Matthias Baldauf and Ben Green. This is the moment in the race where the gaps are quite big. And we don't really see a lot of side-by-side racing anymore, but still this is very, very exciting times with Ben Green being in a sandwich of Porsches. Matthias Baldauf is going to try and get past him, but it's going to be very, very tough with the pace that Ben Green has, and Matthias Baldauf doesn't have that overspeed that he wants. As Ben Green now trying to get closer to Jonas. I mean, the top 6 here is covered by absolutely nothing. The top 6 is covered by 3.5 seconds after 13 minutes of racing, which is very, very, very close. I am very much looking forward to it. This has been amazing. 4 minutes to go in this race as they round off the first corner again. Marco Steffel now 8 tenths back. Is Mirko Bortolotti? Is he gonna be able to do something? Seems like Jonas Vana is closer to Mirko than Mirko is to Marcus, but Jonas can't quite seem to be... Yeah, he can't quite attack because of that damage on the front of his car, which is costing him in a straight line. And then given the fact that the BMWs are quicker in a straight line around here than the Porsches is another factor to take into account. Jan Lins out of the pits now. He has gone very, very long. Or he had to make another stop. That is also an option. But it is now Jonas Vana still behind Mirko Bortolotti. Ben Green catching up to the back of Jonas Vana. Is he now going to be able to make that move? I think if Jonas doesn't have a slipstream in front, he's going to be dropping down the order like a stone. But for now, he still has that toe that is helping him. But he's not getting closer or anything. And it's again Ben Green having a little bit of a disconnect there. But he's back out on track again. As we have, I think, 2 laps or 1 lap to go after this one. And it's still Mirko Bortolotti not closing in that much on Marcus Steffel, but he's giving it absolutely everything now onto the last lap. And I just hope that this will end the way it did in the consolation race, and that it doesn't end with contact, because that would be very, very sad to watch. But Mirko Bortolotti is good enough of a driver to make that through cleanly. Marcus Steffel is feeling the pressure though from Mirko Bortolotti. He is losing some valuable tenths here in the last laps. They're going to come across the line now to start the final lap. I think they will get white flag this time round, and it's still 7 tenths back from Marcus Steffel is Mirko Bortolotti. As we see the white flag waving by the marshal there. Is it going to be Jonas who's going to be attacking Mirko Bortolotti? No, it isn't. He's going to have to wait. Doesn't quite have the overspeed yet on Mirko, and it doesn't seem like he is going to get that overspeed. Stefan Capella into the pits on the last lap, and he's dropping down the order like a stone, which is not what you want to see. Still in the pits, still not on pit exit, and that is going to cost him some valuable positions. But it is Mirko Bortolotti now closing up to Marcus Steffel due to the slipstream being very effective in these GTE cars. What is Mirko going to be able to do? Is he going to be able to put it up the inside somewhere? As Jonas Vana has the fastest second sector time of anyone so far. Fastest of the trio last lap around as well, Jonas. Ben Green has to let them go a little bit. Gap is performing just over a second it is now. But I don't think Mirko Bortolotti is having... yeah, it just has that overspeed to do it. 3 corners to go now for Marcus Steffel to win the feature race ahead of Mirko Bortolotti. Mirko Bortolotti will happily take this in the lead of the championship, as we have a stationary car there on the second to last corner. But it's going to be Marcus Steffel to come across the line to take the victory in the feature race. Mirko Bortolotti is in second place, Jonas Vana and Ben Green is in third and fourth. Fifth is Matthias Baldauf, sixth is Jens Fiedler, and seventh Tobias Kurt. Eighth is Marco Zila, ninth Stefano Pellegrino. He's gonna come across the line to take ninth. Behind that is Lucas Cambea, and then behind that we have Stefan Capella, still trying to finish off this race. Second to last corner, he is now just ahead of Markus Deutsch. And behind these guys is Thomas Piba and Benedikt Hochleitner, with a very, very close battle for the lead the whole race long. It hasn't been over a second, I think, but it is very, very close. As we wait on Benedikt Hochleitner, still to finish his lap off. He has 3 corners to go now, and then we will give you guys the result of this race. Brede Hochleitner is going to come through to take 14th place for ASR Blue, and he is the last of the finishers. P15 until P20, which is Jan Lins, Evan Dietzold, Julian Rambout, Jules, Clement Schmidt, Gustavo Xavier, and Marcus Riemer did not finish. Benedict Hochleitner is now over the finish as he celebrates that with a monumental crash. I think that gives us the opportunity to go to the German stream. Hello, Kevin.
Hi, Dan. Oh.
If you were saying something, I'll just quickly let you finish that off.
Yeah. I forgot it anyway. No, just finishing up all of the race stats. Yeah. Should we? I don't know how quickly they are going to go ahead with the draw, but Mirko is not in there yet, so we can still, I think, talk a bit about the race.
Yeah, I mean, wow, from start to finish, absolute drama, I think. But yeah, I think it's time for us now to go into the draw since Mirko is already is also there.
Yeah. Mirko is there.
Yeah, exciting to see which track and car we are gonna race for the second server.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. We will see very, very soon.
Alrighty then.
Congrats, Marcus. GG. Nice race. We are ready. Sharing the screen results. Now. Okay, so those are the remaining tracks without Watkins Glen. Shuffle.
So we now have the result for you guys.
Bike. I have no idea which one it is.
Marco Steffel, Mirko Bortolotti in second, third Jonas Vana, fourth.
Paste.
As we have the draw going on. Fourth is Ben Green, fifth Matthias Baldauf, sixth Jens Fiedler, seventh Tobias Kurz, 8th Marco Zila, 9th Stefano Pellegrino, 10th Lucas Gambea, 11th Stefano Capella, 12th Marcus Deutsch, 13th Thomas Piba, 14th is Benedikt Hochleitner, 15th Evan Dietzold, 16th is Jan Lins, and 17th is Clement Schmidt.
The 3 remaining options
Julian Rambo,
are as the V8 is out for the week and we just did GTE. Those are the 3 remaining cars.
That is everything we have. I think, no, it's Gustavo Xavier, 19th, and 20th is Marco Rima. Now we go on to the draw and I'll inform you what we have. As cars, we have picked the Porsche Cup and the GT3 or LMP2 can be picked now. It's gonna be the LMP2 or the Porsche Cup. That is going to be drawn as the car we are going to be racing on what track?
So let's select the car first.
No, we are going to select the car now that we are going to use for the next race, and that is the LMP2. We are going to use the LMP2, which is very exciting, of course.
We are
going to use the LMP2 at
Road America. LMP2 at Road America. I think there is no track version. There's just a standard one. And that's the one we're gonna use. So LMP2 Road America, and the server will be online in a few seconds. See you later, guys.
Oh, well.
Also ich glaube durchaus etwas, womit unsere Fahrer bekannt sein sollten.
Kevin,
I was just saying,
we
LMP2 Road America,
yes,
a combination that our drivers should be very familiar with.
definitely. I mean, that is absolutely amazing to watch. I think that it's going to be a spectacle, just like this one. Wow, let's just very quickly talk about the heat and the consolation and feature race. What a race we have had. I mean, it has been absolutely amazing. We've had in Heat 1 and Heat 2, I think the top 4 not even split by half a second. And then in the consolation race, we saw a last lap, last corner drama for the lead in the race.
Yes.
I mean, it has been closed throughout every session in this server. So, yeah. Just curious what you think.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazingly close racing. As you said, we've had a lot of fights, a lot of very close fights, a lot of fights that were too close in the end. I think the one incident you've mentioned right now in the consolation race, the last corner collision, we have talked about it on our German stream in the chat.
Yeah, something as well. Our chat was very interesting. A lot of don't know if I can say that, but a lot of sex bots in there.
Yeah, same.
It's very interesting.
It was amazingly funny.
Yeah.
With my stream because I had during the first heat I had audio problems. I guess so I wasn't heard.
Yeah.
The viewers couldn't hear me. I don't know why. I clicked on one thing, didn't change anything, and then it worked. I don't know. Happens. And in the second my voice was live on stream, the bot messages came through. So like
they all came for you.
If they would, as if they were waiting. That was amazingly funny. But yeah, that was very funny. No, we the German chat on the W12 Sprint Series channel. We have had a talk about this. I still got the messages here. So they are saying that it looked like there was definitely some netcode there. Ben Green was one of the drivers we have seen having internet problems before during the consolation race. So the chat is pretty sure that it was netcode, and it probably was. There was no real reason for Zyler to just steer to the left in this moment.
Yeah, my chat was like forcing off track. I mean, that is true, but it is due to netcode. So can you really blame the driver? Is the question.
That's the thing. That's the thing that I said that luckily us two don't have to deal with. Is that we don't make the decisions here. So
it's gonna be something
tomorrow. If it gets reported, we do have a steward, single steward, who will look at this incident. I think the thing it comes down to is would he have left enough space if there was no netcode?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if Green would have gone out too wide, it doesn't matter if there was netcode, then I think he should be penalized. Yeah. But if he would have left enough space for Zyler to be there, and it just happened to be netcode, I think that's unlucky, but I can't think you can punish a driver for that.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
True.
Because if he would have left enough room, then I would say, it's just unlucky, it's just netcode. And I mean, it's one of my drivers, let's say it like that, was hurt in the incident. It was an ASR driver, and as I think you know, but maybe some of your viewers know, I am part of ASR as well. But I try to keep this as neutral as possible. And I think, so take it from me. I think if he would have left him enough room, I think there should be no punishment for Green. Yes. If he would have pushed him out anyways, then of course that's not okay. That's not fair.
Yeah.
and then that should be punished. But that's for the steward to
Yeah,
decide.
like you said, we in the commentary booth here don't make the decisions for that. Luckily, we don't have to punish the drivers. I mean, if you deserve a punishment, definitely. I mean, if someone clearly pushed someone off track or clearly made a mistake, we can say, of course, we think that he made that mistake, but we can never say like he made a mistake, so he should be punished. I mean, that's not our right to say that. I think.
No, I don't think so. I think we can analyze it. That's why I like just short in German. Deswegen, ich will eure Meinung hören im Chat über jeden Incident, damit wir auch darüber reden können. So I love to hear the opinions of the chat, so that we can talk about what happened. I mean, they are also part of this as well. So yeah. That's we discuss it, but we don't decide what happens with the penalties in the end.
Yeah.
Anyways,
and I mean the chat can argue with us in the decision making but I mean,
ist es auch. No, just
the
in my
second server is live, by the way. So
I'm joining right now.
Yes.
Wir machen hier zwischen den Rennen, spreche ich immer mit Dan, meinem englischen Co-Kommentator. Co-Kommentator ist gut, er macht den englischen Stream. Sprechen wir immer über die Rennen. Kommentiert wird alles auf Deutsch. Also keine Sorge. Es ist eine Notlösung im Moment.
Jawohl.
Yeah, I was just explaining that's how we do things around here.
I didn't understand that.
Yeah, I mean, as we've established, I think even though I don't know if one of us has it easier to understand the other's language. Like, just to be for everybody who maybe doesn't know, Dan is Dutch.
Yes. And
I am Austrian, so I speak German, he speaks Dutch.
If it wasn't quite clear by the accent.
And we do sometimes understand each other's words. I don't know, I do think you have it a bit easier with German than I have it with Dutch.
Do I?
But I feel like you understand more. Maybe I'm not trying hard enough most of the time. But
yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I can understand what you're saying, but it's difficult for me to reply in German. So
yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, but I mean, you seem like you understand more of when I'm talking German than what I understand when maybe you and Marnix, for instance, are talking in Dutch.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a bit that's from where I'm taking it.
But yeah, let's talk about Heat 1. I mean, what did you make of it? I think close until the last second. So it was what was it? 89 thousandths of a second between all of them.
Yeah, unbelievable finish there in the heat. What they have done, like so many, like 3 drivers, like just a tenth between them, and even the the winner, just a tenth in front of them.
Yeah.
It was so unbelievably close. That last lap,
I think top 4 was
tense.
2.5 tenths in Heat 1.
Like
and Mirko hanging on for dear life on P1. I think he did that perfectly. But like we saw in the feature, he just couldn't hold on. I think, Marco Steffel was just a little bit too fast today for Mirko. But I'm just thinking that's just a theory, of course. I don't know what has happened. We haven't talked to the drivers or anybody yet. I feel like Mirko was maybe in the first stint, was maybe trying to save. I don't think he was quite sure how much fuel he was going to save. And that's why, because the pass from Steffel, that was way too easy, in my opinion. Yeah,
especially
I mean, it
thinking
like
about that he
him.
passed Mirko. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was just like switching cameras to Mirko's onboard, and then I just saw Steffel passing on the inside, and it feels like it went a bit too easy, especially considering that he passed Mirko.
Yeah, we didn't see it, but we saw it in a replay. afterwards, because we were like, oh wow, there was a lead change. Let's look at how it happened, and then we saw it like that, and I was like, okay, yes, he has caught Mirko napping there, but
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I have seen Mirko is of course a brilliant in real life racer, but also a brilliant sim racer. And I haven't seen, if that was an honest mistake by Mirko, that was probably one of the first real mistakes I've seen him do.
yeah,
So I don't actually believe. I think he was trying to save a bit too much fuel, and it hasn't worked out in the end.
yeah,
Because I mean, the thing is, they all pitted at like around.
they pitted at the same lap.
8:30. They pitted all in the same lap, but it wasn't even half time yet.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So I think they were very cautious about if they could make it to the end after that pit stop, if they would have to make 2 pit stops.
yeah, yeah.
So I think that was Mirko was trying to save a bit more, maybe try, but that didn't work out in the end. So I think if he would have known that the strategy went the way it did, so that everybody just pits on the same lap and everybody goes to the end from there, he would have defended that harder, I think.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, we did go on board with Mirko at one point, and then we saw exactly that Mirko, or we at least heard that Mirko was lifting after the straight, and we were like, okay, he's fuel saving, so he might be trying to go longer again, and then try and do it, strategically like he did last time out at Lime Rock. But yeah,
Exactly.
wasn't the case this time.
Yeah, I think they had to fuel save, all of them. I think if they didn't fuel save, I think we would have seen a 2-stop race.
Yeah.
Because one driver actually, because that's what I was talking about. Like,
Yeah, we saw some drivers
after the first
going
stop,
for a second one.
going for the second, and I think that's what they all did. They just pitted and then had to fuel save up until the end to get that extra lap. Because if you think about it, they pitted at 8 minutes 30.
Yeah.
So, and the race is 18 minutes long. So if they would have pitted after, 8 minutes 30 later, that wouldn't even have been the end of the race.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
they had to save in that second stint to get that one extra lap.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's what they were all aiming for. But, you know.
Yeah, it was very close throughout.
It was very close, definitely.
And then second heat, it was the top 4 was covered by 8.5 tenths again, against some very close racing. I mean, those GTEs and Watkins Glen have put up some. It's going to be difficult for this server to do one better.
Yeah, I mean,
if it's even possible.
The thing is, I think Watkins showed us very well. We were on the boot version, so without the chicane, the bus stop chicane on the long straight. So we only really had very fast corners. There are no real slow corners in that version of Watkins Glen, and I think it showed. The only time when a pass was really possible was when you were alongside somebody. You couldn't
And then the camber of the track was also the camber of the track was also always favored towards the inside, so a pass around the outside was very difficult.
Very difficult.
What we saw a few times was, I think, a cutback. We saw that happen a few times.
We saw that happen a few times. That's true. But even then, it wasn't always. So a lot of times they maybe did the cutback, but came alongside, but then it wasn't enough again for the next corner.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was very difficult. It was very difficult to pass, and I think all of the overtakes we've seen were executed perfectly because there was no other choice. You had to do it perfect, or you wouldn't go past the guy in front of you.
True.
That's just it. And I think that's where this race will differ. I'm always a fan. I mean, I love driving the fast cars. I love driving LMP2s. I love driving LMP1s. But the thing is, with those faster cars, the racing does get a bit more dragged, so that the drivers are dragged apart from each other a bit more. But I think Road America is a good track for the LMP2s because you have very heavy braking zones.
Yeah. And that is where I think most of the passings are going to be done.
Yeah, probably turn 1, I guess. Then turn, what is it, turn 3 or 4? I think you would say turn 3 is the one after the downhill section, but I think technically it's turn 4 because there's some little turn in between that.
Yeah.
But like the left after the downhill is a very heavy braking zone, and then of course after the fast right king, there is another right-hander which has a very heavy braking zone. So two very heavy braking zones and one relatively heavy braking zone.
Yeah, and I think
So,
the last sector
yeah.
is very tight as well. After that heavy braking zone, when you have fast left, you
Yeah.
go into a very tight left-right or right-left section of the track.
You go after the right, you go left, right, yeah.
Yeah.
A bit of, yeah.
Yeah, that is a very tight section with the LMP2. I mean, that is going to be something to look at. Can you really go through there side by side? Is my question
No,
to you.
I don't think so.
I don't think so as well.
The section you're talking about, like the very last section before the start-finish straight,
Yeah.
that is like probably apart from the carousel, probably the most technical section on this track, because it's not quite flat. It's really fast, but it's not quite flat. It isn't in the GTs, it isn't in the LMP. It's I don't know of a car that can go flat.
Probably Formula 1 can.
Yeah, I would have to try that actually. Good point. Road America in the F1 cars could be very fun.
As we see Mirko again practicing the pit entry, and he's spot on again.
Of course, I mean that's also like a place on the lap where you can make a lot of time and you can lose a lot of time if you mess it up.
Yeah, definitely. So
Um,
how many pit stops
yeah.
do we have to make in this in the second race? So in the feature?
Well, you technically you don't have to do any pit stop.
If you feel
So
safe,
there's
of
no-
course.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you can make it without a stop, you can do it without a stop. That's a great thing.
So we're gonna
I
see
don't know.
some
I don't know.
strategy
I don't know how much. I don't know how much fuel those guys have. That's like a bit. That what keep that for me keeps the commentating very interesting because
Definitely.
you're also just clutching on straws. Like, okay, when did they pit? Maybe when did they have to pit? Maybe in the Constellation is okay. Those are more like talking about Server 1. But like as I said with the feature race, they were pitting at 8:30, so technically they shouldn't make it without a second pit stop. But of course they fuel saved so much that they could extend it one more lap, and that was enough to finish the race. So that's where we also have to keep up with the race in our heads, and with the pit stops it makes it a bit more difficult. But
that makes our job a little bit more easier here.
yeah, I mean we can just speculate. That's a good thing. I mean we just
Yeah, but during the race
it makes it very interesting.
Yeah, but during the race it just makes our life just a little bit more easier when we don't have to keep track of who has pitted and who hasn't. We just have to keep track of who has pitted. And
Yeah.
if they do, they're pretty much out of contention, I think, for a win.
I mean we'll see.
As
I
long
don't
as
think...
not everyone has to pit, but I think you can make it without a pit stop.
I don't know. I mean those LMP2s have a massively tiny
And they're
fuel
thirsty.
tank from the beginning.
Yeah, and they're thirsty.
They're thirsty. And I mean I don't know exactly how much Mirko has put in, so he always sets up the servers.
Oh, so that's why he
That's
always
it.
wins.
Yeah, I of course not.
No.
I don't think. I think maybe he and Marnix they set it up in beforehand, but
Yeah.
like after the draw, he finishes them because we don't know the track, we don't know the car that's going to be raced. But like he puts in some amount of fuel.
Yeah, a fuel cap.
And a fuel cap. So, and if you think about it, the tank is tiny as it is, the fuel tank. So if you limit that as well, I mean that those things are going to definitely. I don't think they're going to go through a whole race. Probably.
Well,
I think
the first
that
race they
aim
can,
is,
I think.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean that's also not a particularly
SVC heavy
short
crash for
race.
Benedikt Hochleitner. That was a heavy one.
But yeah, I don't think they will make it through without a stop. I mean, they will try. I think Mirko is especially one of the guys that will definitely try to make it without a stop if he feels like it can be done. And I think, as I said before, he definitely tried it in the feature race. He tried to do something with the fuel, but it didn't pay off. He left Steffel past, and that was the mistake. I don't think he did that on purpose. So maybe he left it open because he thought he would get past on strategy again.
Yeah.
Which didn't work out.
Which is a fair point, of course.
I think that's what happened. Because after all the races I've watched Mirko, you really do see how much he takes his strategies seriously, and how much he tries to get an advantage of that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, we saw it last time out at Lime Rock that he is a master in the strategies. He almost won it 2 times by just having the correct strategy out there. And I mean, if that's a strength you have as a driver, being able to do that while you're driving is... I mean...
Yeah, of course.
Especially at this track, you're constantly turning the steering wheel. So to be able to do that while you're in your head trying to calculate the fuel and see if you can make it is... If you can do that, that is a very handy thing, let's say it like that.
I think you have raised a brilliant point there, which we didn't cover before when we were talking about Road America itself. Of course, with those heavy braking zones, you also have perfect places to save fuel, to lift off earlier, pull the clutch, and just save fuel into those heavy braking zones, because that's usually the easiest parts of a track to save fuel on. And because you have at least 2 very heavy and another medium braking zone on this track, you do have quite a lot of chances to save fuel here. So that could be interesting. And if I include that into my tactical thinking, I think you could be right with the first race that they might try to pull it off without a stop.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the track very much lends itself to it.
Yes. Yes, true. Well, with that said, I am going to take a little bit of a break between the races. We'll be back for, of course, the qualifying. It's an open qualifying, so looking forward to pit exit at the beginning of qualifying, of course. You can,
always fun.
You can, enjoy your, or at least give your German viewers some entertainment in your own preferred language. So I wish all of you good luck. Have fun in the second sprint, and we'll speak again after.
At the end.
After the second server.
Yes.
See you then.
See you then. Okay.
I'm gonna take a little bit of a break. I'm gonna leave you with, of course, this screen on, as it takes a little bit of time to load in, of course. We go on board with Lucas here for a minute, and I'll be right back. Don't leave. have a race on our hands. After the practice at Road America, it's now time for qualifying. And it's Lucas who we are on board with the 125 Orca. Of course, not in the game. This is the Lara from, I think, 2 or 3 years back. The Lara P217. P2, of course, for LMP2. Quite a long circuit, this Road America, so not a lot of laps for the drivers to put in a clean one. So expect to see a lot of drivers put in just that banker lap and then go for one more. Mirko Boris, the first one out of the pit lane. So we see now drivers appearing in the qualifying bars. Mirko Bortolotti, can he again get a top 3 finish? That would help him in the championship. Already far in the lead, but he hasn't dropped a week yet, so that is why he is that far in the lead. He's going to drop at least 40 points if he drops a week now. That could be less if this is a little bit of a bad result for Mirko, which isn't going to be the case, I think. Jens Fiedler, is he then going to be the first to cross that line? No, he isn't. Mirko Bortolotti continues. Marco Steffel has an off track, so he goes again for another run. Let's see what Mirko can do. He's going to be the first one to come across the line now. He's going to be the benchmark for all the other drivers, and that is going to be a good benchmark, I think, because he has been on the front row for the whole season. Like we talked about just before this, Mirko is a very capable driver at Road America. That is definitely something you want to have. It's only green sectors for Mirko, not purple. Evan Ditsold with a purple, Jonas Vana with a purple sector, and Julian Rambaud Jules also with a purple sector. Fourth sector now for Mirko Bortolotti. Is that going to be purple then? It is purple now on his out lap, but is it going to be purple on his fast lap? Car number 63 hasn't seen a pole position yet. Out at Suzuka, he hasn't seen that pole position, and in all the other races he hasn't. In the LMP2, Mirko has been lacking all season, but it's not by much. It's just by that little bit in qualifying, that is, at least. We have Heat 1, of course, and the feature race to go. Mirko Bortolotti with not a very good time in the middle sector there. He's going to come across the line to put in a benchmark, and that is going to be a time of 1:49.47, but already beaten by Jonas with a 1:48.80. It's now Stefan Capella. He has to abort his lap. Clemens Schmidt, he's going to come across the line now to put in a time of, we're going to see that now, a time of 1:51.5, not what you want to see. Benedikt Hochleitner, can he do something about the pole position then? Jonas Vana at the moment on provisional pole position, but Mirko is improving. Mirko with a purple, that is Mirko with a purple sector. Mirko is currently improving though in sector 1. Sector 3 he isn't, but Benedikt Hochleitner is the first to come across the line. He's gonna look to improve his position. He hasn't set a lap time yet, so he has not done competitive lap time, but this is going to be his first one. It's going to be a lap time of something that shakes up the top, but it's a 1:50.28. Mirko Bortolotti currently improving. He has to improve by 6.5 tenths to be able to go past Jonas at the top of the standings. You don't need all purple sectors to do that. And we know Mirko is a driver who can do it with only greens. He has improved in every sector apart from sector 3, and it's going to be a lap time off. That is very close. He does improve, but not by much. Still 4 tenths clear is Jonas. Is improving himself. Jan Lins. So improving now. This is his first lap time. What can he do as Stefano Pellegrino goes up into 10th position? Benedict Hoogleitner also improving again. Currently in 7th he is. Jan Lins is going to come across the line to set his first competitive lap time. Is it going to do any harm to the top drivers? No, it doesn't look like it is. Does the lap even count is the question? No, it doesn't. He had an off-track in there. And we have Benedict Hoogleitner not improving, but a man who is improving with a purple first and a purple third sector is Mirko Bortolotti. Very close now to that provisional pole position from Jonas. Benedict Hoogleitner now onto the start-finish straight, going up the hill to finish off his lap time, and he has a lap time of 1:49.83. That puts him into 4th. Let's look on board with Mirko now. He is improving as we have 3 minutes left of qualifying. A 1:48.800 is the time he has to be to put it on pole position. Is he going to be able to do that? 3 purple sectors in this lap. And yes, he is. 1:48.57. 2.5 tenths clear now of Jonas. Is Jonas improving himself? It doesn't look like he is. Mark is now going to come across the line to put his first competitive lap time in. Quite late to do that, but he does manage to do it. 1:50.3. Behind that, Ben Green, a man who's very quick in GTs. Can he be quick in the LMP2 as well? 2.5 tenths still currently for Mirko, but Jonas is improving in the 4th sector. Can he get any closer to Mirko is the question. Doesn't look like it, but Ben Green, what is he going to be able to do? It's going to be... Does the lap count? No, it doesn't. He had an off-track in there. Benedict Hoogleitner also still improving. Oh, is that an off-track is the question. He is in 5th, was improving by quite a lot. Had to improve by 1.2 seconds though to take the pole position off of Mirko Bortolotti. And his lap time is going to be 1:51.6. Not what you want to see. Clemens Schmidt behind that. He's going to put in a better lap time. His lap time is going to be a 1:49.6. That is going to put him up into 4th place. Julian Lombard, is he improving? Doesn't look like it. 52. Stefan Capella, a man who is improving though. Can he finish his lap is the question. He only has half a minute left. As into the 5th sector he goes now. 11th place currently for Stefan. No purple sectors on his lap, but he doesn't need to. Stefan Capella, what is he going to be able to do? Coming across the line now to put in a time of 1:49.8. Jan Lins 1:50.0, and that is qualifying wrapped up for you. Now let's look at the Heat 1 race, the grid for Heat 1. Will look as follows. Mirko again on pole position like we have seen so many times this season. Man is on an absolute roll. Jonas Vana now behind him in second place, alongside actually. Behind him is Julian Ramboud in third. 7 tenths back, quite a big gap. Only Jonas and Mirko are really on the same pace. Clemens Schmidt for MDO Racing, finally a good qualifying for him in the LMP2 on Road America, because with the GTEs on Watkins Glen he didn't have the best result, retired from the feature and from the Constellation race, and that is why he was starting last in the feature. Now with a better qualifying, 4th, 5th position is Thomas Piba, 6th is Evan Diethold, and 7th Tobias Kurz, 8th is Stefan Capella, 9th is Benedikt Hoogleitner for ASR Blue, 10th is Lucas Camber, and 11th is Matthias Baldov, 12th is Jan Linst, right alongside him on the left side. Jens Fiedler is 13th and Marco Silla is 14th. Marcus Deutsch is 15th and 16th. Lining up alongside him is Stefano Pellegrino, that is the top 16. 17th is Marcus Steffel. He won the last feature race, remember that, out at Watkins Glen in the GTEs, ahead of Mirko Bortolotti. This race in the LMP2 not quite as successful. He lines up in 17th alongside Ben Green, and behind those two it doesn't look like there are more than 18 drivers in this split. No, there aren't. That is the grid for you. That is how they are gonna line up for the first race of this second server, as the pace car pulls away now and we go on a roll for the formation lap. As we now look on to the race in formation. 6.4 kilometers long, this circuit. It's, again, we are in USA, America, and it's nearby the Eichard Lake. Altitude is at 325 meters and the temperature of the track is currently 23 degrees. Not too hot, so we should see some very fast and blistering lap times. The temperature outside is 90 degrees, humidity 71%, it's partly cloudy and the wind is blowing at 3 kilometers an hour. All settled for a very exciting race to come. I mean, what more can you expect from these LMPs at Road America than a very tight battle? Well, we are now rounding up the last corner to start off this first race of the second server this evening. Second to last race we are gonna do as the pace car now comes on to the start-finish straight. It pulls off into the pit lane. The drivers can now, as Mirko Bortolotti can now decide the tempo. And when is he gonna go green is the question. He's gonna go now. Green. We're green flag racing at Road America. Mirko Bortolotti with not the best of starts. Oh, as we have a pile up in the background. That is not what you want to see. And it's Mirko Bortolotti with quite a bad start, we have to say. Not on it from the get-go. And 14 minutes of racing here at Road America. Oh, and off into the grass they go. And the top 6 have a very big gap already. That is not what you want to see on the first lap. Oh man. 5 cars already into the pit lane. And yeah, we don't really know what happened there. We're not going to look back at it because you rather want to forget that. But it's Bortolotti with not the best of starts. Actually, and now he has to push to catch up to Jonas Vana again. Clemon Schmidt in third. He had a very good start. Finally, he has some luck on his side. He can pull up some very valuable points for his new team, MDO Racing. I think that Julian Rambo-Jules also very happy with that start. Although he lost 3 positions, he has stayed safe. Lucas Cambe and Jan Linst gaining the most positions, and now currently Jonas Vana and Mirko Bortolotti trading fastest sector. Jonas faster in sector 1 and 3 and Mirko faster in sector 2 and 4. As now we have a crash for the race leader. That is absolutely big. That is not what you want to see, but it did happen. And let's look back at that. As we go a little bit further back than this. What happened here exactly is the question. Oh, he touched that curb. He tried to go full throttle through there and that did not work. So he's off into the gravel trap, and that has promoted Mirko up into first with Clemon Schmidt behind him. A very unlucky crash that is for Jonas Vana. And he's now into the pits and currently in 8th position. All drivers until P7 are into the pit lane. That is not what you want to see, and I think that the race control is going to have a nightmare. Just, yeah. Looking who created all of the mess at the start, of course. Mirko Bortolotti now. He is out in first. Clemon Schmidt, he made that mistake, Mirko Bortolotti, and that has allowed Clemon Schmidt to try and go around the outside. He's going to try and do it. Not really, not quite close enough. Clemon Schmidt with the Floyd by Collis inspired livery there. So we have a lot of cars into the pit lane, which is very sad to see, of course. And not what you want to see happening. But Jonas Vana still out there. He is 8th. And he's still trying to at least make something of it. Mirko Bortolotti is absolutely stretching out that gap now to almost a second over Clemon Schmidt. But Clemon does gain 2 or 3/10 on this straight again from the slipstream alone. Bortolotti not thinking about fuel saving, or is he, is the question. We can go on board with him to here. Let's just be quiet for 1 lap and see how Mirko navigates the circuit of Road America. that is a lap of Circuit the Road America. And as we can hear now as well, that Mirko Bortolotti is definitely fuel saving. He's not thinking about getting away from Clemens Schmidt now. He is thinking about fuel saving at every possible opportunity. And he's doing that by pulling the clutch and then having the car roll into the braking zone. And just brake that little bit later that you can, since you have a little bit less speed. Excuse me. Yeah, Mirko Bortolotti only 6/10 clear currently of Clemens Schmidt. Lucas Cambia edging that little bit closer every time, every lap, as we are coming up to halfway in this race. Mirko Bortolotti almost catching up to some traffic. Kazakh's racing team has almost been carried by this man alone. Of course, it's a team effort, but this man has wrapped up the most points for them. Also, the points in the team championship also don't include the drop points for the driver, so also the team will drop some points. But I have to wait until Mirko does decide, like, this is the week that I'll drop points. Mirko Bortolotti catching up to some traffic now in form of, I think, Godzilla. Try and go around the outside now. No, he isn't. He's not quite close enough. Inside would have worked better either way, as we are over half time now. 8 minutes done, 6 to go in the first heat race of the second server and the second to last race of this evening. Kazakh's racing team currently in the lead with Mirko Bortolotti, as he's gonna come up to some traffic in the front. Marco Sila now right in front of him. He's gonna let them through. Jonas Vana now with the fastest lap of the race in 7th, which shows that he definitely had some pace before that incident. He is in 7th, catching up to, I think, Jan Lins, which is 8 seconds. Jan Lins himself is closing up to Jens Fiedler, only 6/10 behind him, as he's now gonna go down the insider. This is very close. This is a very unusual place to do it. It unsettles Jan. Yes, it does unsettle Jens Fiedler, and that gives Jan Lins the place. No touching there, but a very, very opportunistic way to do it, and it just put Jens off that little bit, and he did go off into the gravel, and that's why Jan Lins is now through. Mirko Bortolotti now in the last sector, going up the hill, having that slipstream. But he's going to tuck into the pits, and he's going to make that pit stop. Not able to make it on one fuel tank. And does that mean that after 9.5 minutes, so 10 minutes, they will exit the pits? Does that mean that we will have a... Does that mean that we will have a 2-stop race? If we do, that is going to be very, very exciting when they will do it. Now, Mirko Bortolotti into the pits. A lot of drivers continuing, I think. Yes, Jonas Vana is continuing. Can he finish the race is the question. He's going to come out behind him. He is up to speed now. Is he going to go and try it down the inside? No, he isn't. Not quite close enough, but he had the speed. Now Mirko is up to speed as well. But now the tires for Mirko are a little bit down on temperature. So that's the only advantage Jonas really has now. Jonas' tires are, I think, a little bit newer, since he had to take that fast repair there after that incident in the first lap. Clemens Schmidt now out in the lead. He definitely did continue, and he's gonna make his stop last in just that little bit. Clemens Schmidt now Look on board with him. What is he gonna be able to do? Is he gonna be able to jump Mirko with the overcut? Of course, this livery is beautiful. Inspired by Floyd by Collis Floyd by Collis, I don't know, racing. Is he gonna tuck into the pits now? Yes, he is. Pit entry. It's gonna be absolutely crucial for Clemon Schmidt, and he gets that spot on. Is it gonna be Mirko Bortolotti who is gonna be pushing this to the absolute limit? He's 33 seconds back at the beginning of this. 30 seconds is the gap now. It is coming down at a rapid pace. Clemon Schmidt is gonna have to hope for something marvelous here to happen. Mirko Bortolotti now coming onto the start-finish straight. Is he gonna be up to speed to Clemon Schmidt is the question. He is now into his pit box. Yes, he is. I think he's gonna be comfortably past as Clemon Schmidt now comes out of the pit lane. There he is. And he's gonna be comfortably ahead. And the undercut has worked like a treat for Mirko. 3.3 seconds is now currently the gap, as behind that Clemon Schmidt also does come out ahead of Lucas Camber. Jonas Vana into the pits again. He couldn't make that extra lap work. Lucas Camber currently in second. Is also pitted. So let's look. It's everyone who has made a pit stop, but there are some drivers who have to make a second pit stop. I think none of them in the top 5 are one of them. So it's really gonna be Lucas now chasing down Clemon Schmidt, because apart from that there's no one really close on track anymore. With only one lap to go after this one, I expect that Mirko is quite comfortably clear on fuel for the first race. Not making it without making a pit stop. We were wrong in speculating about that. We thought they were gonna be able to do that, but they're by quite some margin aren't in this first race, as we have another crash there. You don't want to see, really. Mirko Bortolotti is going to start the final lap now. He's going to come up the hill for the second to last time this race. Last lap is going to be started now by Mirko Bortolotti as we see the white flag waving. And he has a gap of 4.2 seconds. 48.60 was his last lap time. That is the fastest lap of the race. Little bit further back we have Clemon Schmidt just driving away slightly now, creeping out that gap to Clemon Schmidt. Lucas Camber is in third. He is not quite able to keep up with the pace from Clemon Schmidt. But what is he gonna do is the question then. Is he gonna fuel safe? Does he have to fuel safe? No, it doesn't look like he has. Mirko Bortolotti is now into the carousel for the last time this evening. And then it will be a demanding victory for him. He's going on absolute safe this last lap. 3.6 seconds is the gap now. He is not pushing anymore, he is just saving it. And it is going to be a demanding victory for Mirko Bortolotti. He has lost a second there with that traffic, but it all doesn't matter. He rounds off the last corner and goes up the hill for one last time. And it's going to be Mirko Bortolotti who wins the first heat of the second server this evening. Clemon Schmidt is going to come through to take second. Lucas Camber with a very good result again in third. Clemon Schmidt finally having a good result this evening. Tobias Kurz is gonna come through to take 4th position. Up the hill he goes for one last time. Jonas Vana as well, coming up the hill for one last time. That is a very, very good recovery drive from him after being in the pits after lap 1. After that small incident he had, of course. But he is gonna come through to take 5th. Jens Fiedler is now gonna come up the hill for one last time as well. Jens Fiedler finishes in 6th for T3 Esports. Jan Linz, of course, just a little bit back from him. Stefano Pellegrino also a little bit back, holding off Thomas Piba to finish 8th and 9th respectively. 10th is gonna finish Marco Zila, but he still has to finish, of course. Going up the hill for one last time now. And that is a very good finish for him. Evan Dietzold still in 11th place. He's gonna come up the hill to finish. He won't be happy with that. Benedikt Hoogleitner also not having the best result of the evening. He had some good results in the GT, but not quite in this one, it looks like. Those are all the finishers, and we will run over the result in a bit. I'll be right back. Well, we are there. And it looks like while I've been gone, the Saxbots have taken over the channel again. We are gonna look at the results from Heat 1. Like we said, it was a bit of a mess at the start. Mirko Bortolotti in first with a absolutely convincing victory. Clemon Schmidt in second, 2.5 seconds back from Mirko Bortolotti. Finally a good result for Clemon Schmidt with 2 disappointing races in the GTE at Watkins Glen. He finally has a good result now. Lucas Cambert in third. 4th is Jonas Vana, 5th Jens Fiedler, 6th Jan Linz, 7th Stefano Pellegrino, 8th is Thomas Piba, 9th Tobias Kurz, 10th Marco Zila, and 11th is Evan Dietzold, 12th is Benedikt Hoogleitner, 13th finished Ben Green, Matthias Baldau 14th, Stefan Capella is 15th, 16th Markus Deutsch, 17th Julian Rambau-Jules, and 18th is Markus Steffel. And then we have all the drivers. Then we are going to look at the lineup for this race, as we have Markus Steffel in pole position. Of course, the reversed grid positions these are. Markus Steffel first, second is Julian Rambo, third Markus Deutsch, fourth is Stefan Capella, and fifth is Matthias Baldau. Ben Green is sixth, seventh is Benedikt Hochleitner. 8 is Evan Ditzold and 9th is Marco Zila. 10th is Tobias Kurz and Thomas Piba is 11th. 12th is Stefano Pellegrino. Then we have Jan Lins in 13th. 14th is Jens Fiedler. Jonas Vana in 15th. 16th is Lucas Cambia. And 17th is Clement Schmidt. 18th Mirko Bortolotti. And last on the grid. I wish all of the drivers good luck in this race, because it's gonna be a very, very difficult one. As we are going around the carousel at pace car speed, of course. We are looking to round this off with a very, very exciting race. The feature race, I think 25 minutes this one will be, if I'm not mistaken, or 20 minutes, and then we are finished for this evening. Let's look at the race info again for one last time. Out of the last sector now. And into the last corner. So we go on to race. And we go on to Markus Steffel on the pole position. And he can now dictate the pace. He cannot pass the safety car, of course. But they're going, and it's green, very early on in the lap. Of course, this is going to give him the whole straight to slipstream them. And do we get cleanly through the first lap? Yes, we do this time round. And Markus Steffel keeps the lead into T1, but into T1, a very big mistake and a very big accident catching up there in the background. As we have Stefan Capella through. Mirko Bortolotti getting through there as well, without damage, I think. Mirko Bortolotti already up into 8th position. Jonas Vana still ahead of him, so the two championship, or at least the two people who can fight for a championship are still in there. They can fight for the win. Of course, they need to make up 9.2 seconds. But it is going to be a very hard task. 20 minutes to go, and I don't think personally that they can make it with only one stop. If they can, hats off to the drivers, but it's going to be very, very close. It's going to be Jonas Vana who is going to be catching up to the back of Markus Deutsch. As he goes off there, under pressure. As we are now look on board with Mirko Bortolotti on the roll bar cam. Yeah, that was a big one, Winston, wasn't it? Sad to see that happen in on lap 1 again. This is the second time we've seen this on this track with this car combination, as there's another one off. Oh, is he gonna come back in an unsafe manner? It looks like he isn't, but that is very, very close, and it's Mirko Bortolotti already up into 5th. This man can't catch a break. It's amazing to see how fast these guys and how good these guys are through the traffic and through crashes. It's like every other driver just drives into it, but these two, they just drive through it like nothing happened, and they're very close now to both Jens Fiedler, I think, and Jonas Varna is the next one on the list for Mirko Bortolotti. Is maybe going to try it down the inside here, or is he going to field safe? I think he's going to field safe. Yes, he is. I'm on board with him to listen to that. Here, he's not going to field safe, I think. No, he's not. If you're going back into 1st, which is quite tricky to do there. But here is he going to field safe is the question. Yes, he is. He pretty much has to. Otherwise, he's not going to make it with one stop, and that is what all the drivers want, I think. Jonas Varna again catching up to Jens Fiedler. These drivers are really on a pace of their own. Jonas Varna had the fastest lap last time round in the last race. Is that gonna be the same this time? Is the question. He also saving a lot, but Mirko behind is doing the same, and he has the slipstream as well, so that is gonna help Mirko as well. But is it gonna be enough? Are they gonna save enough to make it happen, to make that one stop work? Because it is very, very close. We have now a beautiful heli shot from the 3. Last car on your screen on the right hand side is Mirko Bortolotti. He gains a lot there on the braking. You could just see how comfortable he is into T1. That I thought for a second that he overshot his braking zone there. That was braking on the absolute latest. That was braking on the absolute latest. We again have 4 or maybe 5 cars out of this race, sadly, as he's now going to do it down the inside. Yes, he does. Jonas Varna through on Jens Fiedler, and now he gets swiped by Mirko Bortolotti as well in the background. Yes, he does. He is through as well. Now they are both clear to chase down the leaders in the form of Marco Steffel and Julian Rambout. Very, very close between those two guys. Marco Steffel with a very disappointing result in the last race. I think he's gonna come back strong from that in this one. 5 minutes done already in this feature race. Time goes past by very, very quickly when you're having fun, they say. And having fun is definitely something we are doing. I hope you all enjoy it as well. If you do, just give us that like, maybe subscribe, and then you'll be notified if you click on that bell icon for future events that PRL hosts or supports, or at least broadcasts. Every Sunday we have the Porsche Cup, of course. Then every other Sunday we have the Porsche Cup, and every Thursday we have this one, the W12 Sprint Series. We have the TCR Cup incoming as well. We have a NASCAR League, which we are working very hard on, so definitely something to look forward to for the next couple of weeks, if not months. We have an Endurance Championship. If you want to take part in that, the link is all in the description, as is the link of the W12 Discord. So these guys are fighting for first position in the race. It looks like Marcus Steffel just has the edge over Julian now at this stage of the race. Steffel, he loses a little bit of time to Julian Rumbaud here as well. Not able to push behind Jonas Vana, but are these guys fuel saving? We're gonna go on board for a lap with our leader in the LMP2 class, which is Markus Steffel, and I'm gonna shut up for a bit to hear these beautiful cars go around the circuit of the Road America. As we can see Markus Steffel now coming into the pits, there was no sign of them saving fuel, but Jonas Vana and Mirko Bortolotti are in at the same lap, so saving fuel didn't really work for them as well. They're gonna have a shorter stop now, I think, but that's the only thing. Steffel is of course the first one to go out there. Ben Green are the people that can continue or that pitted earlier that are now just having that edge over the other driver maybe. As Markus Steffel comes out again. Six tenths is the gap still to Rumbaud, to Julian Rumbaud. No sign of fuel saving for these guys. They can make it, but depending on the lap that they are pitting on. Mirko Bortolotti and Jonas Vana now 4.6 behind them. They did definitely short fuel. Both of them. It's a little bit further down the field. We have Jan Lins. Oh, as Ben Green overshoots that just that little bit that allows him through. He's down the inside there, side by side are going Evan Ditzold and Jens Vettler. Down the inside is still Jens Vettler. Is he going to try and hang it around there? Yes, he is, and he does succeed with that move. That is a beautiful overtake by Evan Ditzold there. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Markus Steffel still ahead of Julian Rumbaud. Jonas Vana is closing up, and he is taking Mirko Bortolotti with him. 1.9 is, or 1.4 is currently the gap between those two. Not quite in the slipstream range, Mirko, but the one who is in the slipstream race is Julian Ramboud, and Markus Steffel is trying to break that toe. Does he succeed in that? Yes, he does. Now going on to the last few laps of this evening, the last race. 12 minutes done already, 8 minutes only to go, 8 minutes of racing only to go. We all wish it would have been more. Never get enough of racing since we're race fans, but do they have enough is the question for me. Are they gonna get there? Because they pitted with 10.5 minutes left, they left the pits. Are they gonna get there is my question. Because that means that they pitted with 9.5 minutes on the clock, and that is gonna be 18 minutes or 19 minutes, and that is never gonna be enough, because you want to be just that lap over fueled. I think that you just have the safety, if you need to go that one lap longer, that you at least can, and I think that is what Jonas Vana and Mirko Bortolotti are doing right now. 1.6 is the gap still between them. It stays very consistent between those two drivers. I think that Mirko Bortolotti just has the edge, or Jonas Vana just has the edge over Mirko Bortolotti. If it's with fuel saving, it's just with everything else. Markus Steffel not giving Julian Ramboud an inch, breaking that toe actively. Is he gonna succeed in that? No, he isn't. He's closing, but not quite close enough. These are the only cars that are really close on track right now. Markus Steffel still in first position, but he is being pressurized like he has never been before. Julian Ramboud is absolutely pressurizing him from behind, and it's very close between those two. If he gets to within 3/10 before going onto the long straight again, onto the long start finish straight, he does have a chance to try it up the inside or around the outside for the first corner, and he is definitely close enough. He's closing a long straight ahead. DRS board is there, but these cars obviously don't have DRS. He's gonna keep the inside for the next corner, Markus Steffel, and he does succeed to keep the position away from Julian Ramboud Jules. But this is shaping up to be a very exciting race, but they can't really fight if Julian is sensible. He knows that, but he's gonna try and get it up the inside. Now he is very close. He's within that 3-second gap, or within the 3:10 gap that I said was needed. Is he gonna try it now? 1.5 tenths at halfway on the straight. He's gonna pull out of the slipstream. He's alongside now into the braking zone. Around the outside he goes. Is he gonna make this one stick? Yes, he is. A beautiful move around the outside from Julian Ramboud, and he has to defend now against Markus Steffel. He has to cut back. Markus with the better exit. He's gonna have the outside for the next corner. And in the background, Jonas Vana and Mirko Bortolotti are lurking. They are coming closer. They are getting closer to this pair that are fighting for the lead. Around the outside, he's gonna have to go. He's gonna take absolutely all of the racing track, get the cutback down the inside of the next corner. This is very great racing from Markus Steffel. Down the inside, he's gonna push him wide here. Of course he does. Again, the cutback. Does it work? No, it doesn't for Julian Ramboud, and that is attack denied from Julian. Again, Markus Steffel has his first position back. Oh, but a little bit of a mistake, and he crashes there. He crashes in the background, and he's going to wait on him. He's going to come back on track, and that gives Mirko Bortolotti and Jonas Vana the time to get back into the lead again, and that is how they get given that incident again. Markus Steffel crashed Yes, definitely. Julian Rambout here will go on board with him. We'll see it here. Oh, he just had a little moment there. And I think that is just... Yeah, that is sad to see. He did wait immediately on him, but not something you want to see happen for the lead of the race, sadly. But that has allowed Jonas Vana and Mirko Bortolotti through into first and second respectively. Jonas just that little bit quicker than Mirko Bortolotti, only 2.5 minutes left as they cross the line this time round. That is gonna be 2 laps from now. Do they have enough fuel is the question. Mirko Bortolotti giving it everything now. 1.4, he's back at the beginning of this lap. Let's see what that is gonna be at the end of this one. Jonas Vana, man, we need to look out for definitely Mirko Bortolotti. Is he gonna be able? Is Marcus Steffel gonna be able to make it? Is the question. This is, as of yet, the closest fight on track. No, it isn't. Stefan Capella and Jan Lins side by side, going down the second straight as he's now gonna have the inside. The 115 Stefan Capella has the inside, but around the outside goes Stefan Pellegrino, or Jan Lins to be fair, in the 555, and he does make that move stick. That is beautiful racing by Jan Lins. Absolutely beautiful racing, but this move is not over yet. He is very, very close. Going into the carousel in a bit. We're first going to go left here, a tight left. Then we have the carousel. Then we have a long, long straight where Stefan Capella can attack back. He's going to take the longer route around the outside. That's going to give him the better exit. Onto the straight now he gets with a better exit. First we have this high downforce corner. He's going to go around the outside. That is going to give him the inside for the next corner. They're side by side going into the next corner. The right hand of this is, and he has the moves done before they get into the braking zone. So Stefan Capella back up into 6th position. Beautiful racing by these guys. And now he immediately builds up a gap to Jan Lins. And we have Marcus Steffel now just ahead of Julian. I think Julian has picked up a little bit of damage from that incident as the white flag gets waved now by the official. As just 7 seconds up ahead of this we have Jonas Vana, and Stefan Capella has to come into the pit lane because he didn't have enough fuel. That is exactly what we said. 2 stops he has to make. He didn't fuel save and he didn't get there. It's something we're gonna have to watch out for. Are there people that are gonna stop on track on this last lap? Is Marcus Steffel gonna have to save a lot, or is he safe on fuel? That is the question. Mirko Bortolotti definitely seems to be saving. Jonas Vana, 1.9 is the gap now between those two. 1.8, I think Jonas has that in the bag. All gaps are currently above 1 second, and that means that with this pace, this man, Jonas Vana, has a few corners to go. And that means that Mirko Bortolotti is going to finish 2nd in both of the feature races, which he's not used to, of course. This man is usually on top of his game. Jonas Vana is going to come through to take the checkered flag in the last race of this evening, in the feature race, the 2nd server. That is a victory. Mirko Bortolotti behind that in 2nd place with a very good result for him as well. Marcus Steffel as well into the pit. He goes. No, he doesn't. Of course, that I am joking. Marcus Steffel 3rd, finishes 3rd. A very good result for him. Still could have been more. Maybe without that crash. Julian Ramba-Jules in 4th. 5th is Lucas Cambea. He's going to come through. 6th is Jan Lins up the hill for the last time this evening. Stefano Pellegrino behind that. Stefan Capella is going to come onto the last corner right now, I think. Yes, he is. Evan Ditzold right behind him. Is he coughing on fuel? No, he isn't. Ben Green is still in the carousel, I think. Yes, he is. It's going to be a long way home for him, but definitely a very, very good result for Jonas Vana. He's now going to come through, of course, to finish off this lap. And that is him done. Oh, in the last corner, he bottles it. Is he going to finish is the question. Is he? He is going to go into pit lane, of course. Yes, he is. And that finishes off this race with a driver in the pit lane. And I think that has been a very, very successful race. What a race we have seen. And let's go into the German commentary booth. And let's see what Kevin thinks of it.
What Kevin thinks of it?
Oh, you got that?
Holy... Yeah, get the last words.
Oh.
Wait, I think I can even bleep myself because I'll need it for that one. Holy...
Oh yeah, that's handy.
That's very handy. Yeah, what to say about that?
I mean, where do we start is the question.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I have said it in German in the stream. I am disappointed a bit from our guys.
Yeah,
I have
to be honest, I am
more.
as well. The start was 2 times a bit of a mess, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I have looked at the first start a couple of times, so I've rewinded it and played it again and at low speed, and you can just perfectly see that all of the drivers, and I mean all of the drivers, they misjudged how cold their tires were going into turn 1, because 3 drivers, like right behind each other, all spun out in a perfectly symmetrical way. So like if this was like, how did they call it in English? Like, you know, where they jump into the water, like synchronized diving.
Yeah, that is exactly
that was that. Like just in spinning out from the track, like 3 guys right behind each other, all spun out exactly the same way, and with that, like they were on the inside, they spun out, they took out the guys that were on the outside, and so that way you had like at least 6 guys out, and then a couple of guys that didn't even make it to turn 1.
Yeah,
because they crashed on the start finish line, like right after the green flag.
I was actually very scared to see that when Mirko started last. I was like, oh my god, if something happens now, he is going to be very, very mad about that. And luckily nothing happened, but it could have ended pretty badly, I think.
Yeah. With the second one, the thing is, with the first one, I'm more disappointed because like at least I'd say 5 or 6 drivers messed up.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm more disappointed with the first one. In the second one, it was pretty much, we have talked about it. He apologized in the stream as well, even though he doesn't need to in that case. But it was the fault of one driver spinning out, and then just after turn 1, where the track is very narrow.
Yeah, it's like
just taking out everybody. So that's where it was just one mistake from one driver, which just cost half of the field.
Yeah, it's like a funnel effect there.
Yeah.
The track goes from very wide to suddenly very, very tight.
Yeah, very, very, very tight, yeah. The walls are coming in, so you're not going off and just sliding off the track like you would in turn 1, but the walls kind of like push you back into the track. So that's a very costly point to make a mistake, and one driver just went a bit wide on the exit, which happens. I mean, so that's why I'm with the second one, of course, sad to see, but that was like, I feel like more of an honest mistake.
Yeah.
With the first one, that was just after such a long warm-up lap with nobody really warming up their tires except for like the front guys
Yeah.
who thought about this, obviously. And they all forgot how cold their tires were into a very fast turn one. I mean, turn one, Road America in those LMP2 cars is
It's
at
fast.
least it's third gear,
Yeah,
very fast.
definitely.
So you do need a lot of grip, and you don't have that after like 2 minutes of driving 10 kilometers per hour behind the safety car, and they just forgot.
Well, I think after making it mandatory for the drivers that finish in the top 3 to get to an interview, it doesn't look like we have any interest. I think it's just I think we are the problem, Kevin.
Well, I guess they are scared. They should be, and they should be after tonight. They should be.
Yeah.
They should be ashamed. No, I mean,
I mean the
again.
top 3, they got through it cleanly.
they did a good job, and
There-
with the second one,
There are
because
some
you
drivers in
mentioned
the general
Nico.
chat which we maybe can get in here, but should we just pull someone in here?
Just without warning.
Yes.
I mean, go ahead.
Well, oh no, I can't. I still can't. Oh, I can't. Can you pull someone?
Or we go up there. Because I don't think they see this channel, don't they?
But they should see the waiting room.
Maybe let's go to the waiting room and maybe they'll join us. Let's give them another a chance.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I can pull you.
No, I jumped myself.
Yeah, but I can pull you to this this channel.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, it was because the thing is that that we saw like in the end of the second race, like the fight between Steffel and Rambö, that was really good.
Definitely.
I mean, of course, there was a mistake there as well, sadly, which kind of ended that race for P1. But up until that point, that was brilliant.
Definitely,
that was brilliant to watch.
Yeah. I mean, apart from I think Jonas and Mirko being close to each other for the whole race, they weren't like attacking each other because they were both saving fuel, and for me at least it looked like we did go on board for a whole lap with Marcus, and it didn't look like he was saving. So why were Mirko and Jonas saving then? I don't
think,
really get that.
They've gained a lot of places, of course not, a lot of time during the pit stop, because I think before the pit stop, Marcus and Julian were at least like 7 seconds ahead.
And then suddenly
and
it was
after
4.
it was so I think they've underfueled a bit. I think Marcus and Julian just took what they needed, so probably a full tank.
But why?
And Jonas and Mirko tried to get closer that way.
But
I mean,
they
if you think about
underfueled,
it.
but also they saved some fuel.
Yeah, I mean, they need to get to the end.
Yeah, so
I
the
think
fuel
they
stop
needed a full tank.
Yeah, so the fuel stop would be shorter than if they saved before, because otherwise, if they save, and just the rest doesn't save, why do they save then? If they don't get any advantage out of it.
The thing is, I mean, they probably didn't plan for it to go this way, but think about it. If they were at the time of Julian and Marcus's crash, if they would have still been 7 seconds behind, I think that they wouldn't have gotten past that easily. Because now you look.
Oh, that went wrong.
Because now, as you see in the results, Marcus is only 8 seconds behind Jonas and Mirko after this crash. So if you take away, you know what I mean? So if they would have been 7 seconds behind Jonas and Mirko, and Marcus and Julian crash as they did, or Marcus spins out a bit, they probably maybe wouldn't have gotten past Marcus and Julian at that point. Maybe they could have stayed in front, and then we've had a big fight for the top position at the end.
Yeah, definitely.
So in the end, it worked out that they took that time away under the pit stop. If they would have fueled as much, they maybe wouldn't have gotten the 1-2, Jonas and Mirko. So,
definitely.
Yeah.
But
it has worked out for them. They couldn't have planned that, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But maybe something like that was in their minds. You know what I mean? That they try to gain time under the pit stop, and I mean they knew. I mean Jonas and Mirko knew that they were a lot faster than Marcus and Julian at that point, because Marcus and Julian were driving 17s, 18s, and Jonas and Mirko were driving 16s. So were they taken a second at least after the pit stop? They were taken away from those guys.
Yeah, but that was at the point where I think they started fighting. But before that, they were at, because I looked at the lap before where they weren't fighting out of the pits, and they didn't gain anything. And we did go on board with Mirko again, and they were still fuel saving. So I don't know why. For me, it's a very weird situation, because I don't get why they were fuel saving if they really didn't need to. Because after the pit stop, what are you gonna gain? I thought, of course, maybe I think was it Lucas and Gillian were very tight on fuel, so I thought maybe that's the case, that maybe they are very tight on fuel, maybe not gonna make the last lap, but Gillian and Lucas made it easily. So and they didn't save for that whole fight, because they were fighting, and not even maybe the last lap that they were saving, but I mean very, very slightly. But yeah, I don't get why they were saving after the pit stop. Before the pit stop, yes, I do agree with your theory that they were saving to save time in the pit stop, because of course if you fuel shorter, you gain time. But if you fuel shorter and you have to put less fuel in a shorter stop, that also gains you time. So that's it's kind of
that's what I mean.
Gaining.
I think they saved fuel in the first stop, but I still think, because they all came in at like right at the half-time mark, or just before the half-time mark.
10 minutes 30, they all left the pits.
So they would have. You think they would have needed another full tank?
Yeah, exactly.
But then they haven't fueled in as much. So of course they would have needed. So they need to save. To keep saving to get the car to the end.
Of course, yes.
So they said, okay, we're gonna stop shorter, gain a couple of seconds that way, which they did.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, 4 seconds at least.
Yes.
And then they just saved because they knew they had the pace. I mean, Mirko and Jonas were blisteringly fast all throughout the LMP2 races. So in the first one, in the qualifying, in the second one, they were just absolutely the fastest guys on track. So they knew that and just thought, okay, let's try and gain a couple of seconds like that. And then in the last 10 minutes, even with our saving, we are at least as fast as those guys ahead of us. But maybe we're a bit closer to get into a fight with them.
Yeah. Because when they started fighting, I think even when saving, they were faster. But that was because the guys ahead were fighting. Julius and Marcus were fighting.
And probably, I mean, I'm amazed by how much thinking time those guys have during their driving. Yeah. So I'm sure that Jonas and Mirko both knew, if we don't fight, us two, and just drive and save, and those two are going to start a fight, because Marcus and Julian were fighting for P1. So of course they were going to fight, because it was for the victory.
Yeah,
I think Jonas and Mirko knew that. And just thought, okay, let's sit back. Let's just drive. Let's keep the pace. They are going to fight. We're going to get closer, and we're going to get our chances at the end. That it would be that easy as it was in the end.
Yeah, but I mean, did Mirko ever look like he had the pace to, even when saving, did Mirko ever look like he had the pace to overtake Jonas? I don't think so. I think Jonas had the upper hand on Mirko in this race.
Yeah, I mean, but if Mirko really put in, would have said, okay, I'm going to get past, and I'm going to put 110%, and I'm going to risk it all, he would have probably gotten a shot at it. I don't think.
Yeah.
Under normal circumstances, just driving the normal race pace, no. And you could see it, Mirko didn't get close to him. I mean, it was at the end 3.2 seconds difference between those two. So no, normally he's not fast enough. If he really would have wanted it a bit, and if he would have realized it a bit earlier, I mean, the crash between Marcus and Julian was also very late, so not a lot of time left after that. But maybe if he would have known earlier that this fight between Jonas and him is going to be for P1, maybe he would have tried it. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, I mentioned in the stream as well, like, if Julian is just sensible and just thinks about the bigger picture, he was faster at the point where he tried to overtake. He definitely was fast, and he was putting pressure on Marcus.
Yes.
So if he would have just been sensible and maybe just tried the last 3 laps, because there were 8 minutes to go, which is 5 or 6 laps, and if he would have just tried it, just the last lap, maybe, or the last 2 laps, maybe it would have been totally different, because now it did happen, which you never expect. But even though if they kept fighting and it did happen cleanly, the guys behind them were gaining. If they did not fight, the guys behind them were gaining on a much slower rate. So
I don't think that they, if Marcus and Julian just drive through to the end without an incident, I don't think Jonas and Mirko would have caught them. I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So that's why even with their fight, I think if they would have kept on driving, I still don't think it would have been enough. Just quite, not.
I mean, they can catch up to them.
A couple of laps short.
Yeah, but they can.
Yeah, of course.
They can catch up to them, but overtaking is an whole other
exactly
thing. So I mean.
But that's why I understand that. I mean, of course, first of all, it's also going for a victory. I don't think. Let me look at the standings from before this round. Just that I'm not talking complete rubbish. But if you're looking at a person like Julian, he's not in the fight. He's on 6 points.
Definitely
at the moment.
not.
Marcus is in the fight. That's probably why. But he's a bit behind Mirko and Martin Stadtmann. Okay, he's gonna overtake Stadtmann now after this race. But
has Marcus dropped the race yet?
He needed the victory.
Has Marcus dropped the a race yet, or?
I mean, he does have one race where he scored not a lot of points. So I don't think he has completely dropped one yet.
Okay.
But there is one with a very low point score. So if he keeps up for the next couple of races, yeah, you could say there is a dropped race in there already.
Yeah, I think for the English
Marcus needs the win, and Julian doesn't care about the bigger picture because he's not in the fight anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So he just wants the win, because what else is there? A P2 doesn't mean anything. If you fighting for it, you might as well get the win in his position.
Yeah.
So both of them really needed one, and yeah, that's why I understand the fighting, to be honest. And that's why I understand that, for instance, like Mirko and Jonas.
Yeah, I fully understand.
Jonas is also a bit far away. But
yeah, I fully understand, but at the moment that you are faster, you know you're faster, you can feel you're faster, because you don't have to push and you still catch up to the guy in front.
Yeah.
Aren't you like, maybe if we don't fight, the guys behind are faster? If we start fighting and they don't, they will catch up. So maybe I'll just wait a lap or two and then maybe try from the last 3 laps onwards. No?
Thank you, Lucas. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I think that's something that a lot of drivers also just try it differently. I mean, I'm also more like you. I would say, okay, I'm gonna sit back, I'm gonna relax for now, and then in the last couple of laps, maybe in the last laps, I'm going to try to take my chance. But other drivers may be like, okay, maybe I don't get another chance, and I mean that's a valid point.
Yeah, that's always
maybe that's
option,
the only chance you're getting, and then you need to take it. They are short races. Don't forget.
Yeah, definitely.
These
20
are
minutes.
very short races.
Hello, Mark.
Real quick, I had a flat tire for now with my scooter.
Okay, Marnix.
Tell the world.
What?
You're telling the world and our viewers.
He's gone.
I think he doesn't realize that we're still
Yeah,
FF.
yeah, exactly. That is why I wanted to put him to general, but I couldn't.
Yeah. So I forgot my point.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
that has completely thrown me off.
Yeah. But maybe that's a good point to end
Yeah,
it.
yeah, definitely.
Let's take
I
that.
mean, first of all, I want to thank all of the drivers for competing again tonight. It's been a spectacle, but maybe something to look to at least, try and.
Yeah, I think
what's the
that was
word?
like the first real big one.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
In terms of crash, that was the first one. The first time I really think like something like that has happened, where in both races like half of the field at least crash out. So that's something new. I don't think we'll see that too often. I'm not too afraid of that.
Yeah.
So
Well.
Yeah.
I think from.
Happens. It had to happen someday.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
it had to happen someday.
But it's
And
something.
today was the day.
Yeah, it's definitely something to take a look at because you want to see who
Yeah.
started it and maybe for the
Yeah,
next driver briefing, point out what exactly did go wrong. But hey, that's not our our thing to discuss
Exactly.
here. It's
We have analyzed it
Yes.
our way.
it's gonna be a very busy day tomorrow for the steward. I think
Yep.
he's gonna be there for quite some time,
gonna-
looking at at the start of both races.
Yeah, definitely. I think as I said, I think in the LMP2 races, I don't think there's much to like give penalties over. I think
I
people
feel
just
for him.
lost it.
I feel for him.
Yeah, but I don't think there will be that many reports. I mean,
Yeah.
people just lost it.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think.
But what can you
There
do?
were-
A lot of people
yeah.
that lost it are out of the race. They didn't
I mean,
finish. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
The least you can do
they
is
punish. Yeah,
the least you can do
they
is give
punish
them a
them
penalty for the next race.
yeah. I mean, just if they have taken out someone else that wouldn't have crashed themselves, then of course you need to do something about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, that's not our point. That's not our point. Of
Exactly.
Work.
Exactly.
We have done our due
Yes.
work tonight. Again, 3.5 hours. It says on my 3 hours 20 minutes.
3 hours
So,
20 for me
good-
as well.
Yeah. So a good
Wow.
good day's work.
Yes.
yeah, so
I'm gonna thank all the
let's-
viewers. I'm gonna thank all the viewers. I'm gonna thank all the drivers for competing. Again, this evening it's been a lot of fun. Sad that
It has
maybe the starts
definitely.
weren't the best, but yeah, like Kevin
Yeah.
and I, we had fun again, and that's what it's all about. I hope
Definitely.
the viewers had fun as well, also on your side, and yeah. For now, it's from me, from Kevin, and from all the W12 and Platinum Racing League members. Stay safe, and until next time, keep racing.